Some live hands from Brian, live hands from Larry, maybe some live hands from Derek, definitely from Andy. Let's see what we got.
Okay.
Live and online.
So this is one of the players
Either way.
that I really like to have at my table. He's really good for action. He's a Tuesdays and Thursdays. I make sure I'm there because he comes at like 11 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I want to be there when he's there because he can make your night very easily. So um I'm gonna I flat here, I believe, which I think technically I could get make an aggressive three bet here, but I'm in position. I'm on the button, and I mean, it's already going multi-way, most likely, so I don't mind letting him in. That's for sure, especially being in position to him when he's going to be loose and aggressive. So I,
And your hand is
but
happy to go multi-way in position.
oh yeah,
So
I'm fine with it.
yeah,
And I
you're
don't,
nothing wrong.
yeah, I don't. I feel like it's a little bit light to be ISOing in this spot, to be squeezing in this spot with this hand. Um, it's pretty likely you're going to
Be
get
mad
it.
at you if you decided to go for a squeeze here, especially to the six sizing. I mean, you can go to 25, and if you get action, like you still have enough stack depth and you have a hand that plays decently well in position.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You
But
can.
I think
either way, I don't think, I mean, other than folding, I don't know that there's really a bad play here.
Mm.
yeah,
At
I
the risk
definitely
of
want him
asking
in.
you to repeat yourself, what's the rate you're paying?
It's 10% capped at six. So and then there's
Mhm.
$2 that go into the jackpot, so it's basically eight.
Okay.
Um, so we get 10. This weird limp, which I'm obviously not going anywhere now. We just got
No, but the
I don't
fact that he did it with only 38, he went to only 12.
Stack depth is legit.
That is obscene.
Wow.
so, yeah. So we're going, what is this, seven
Definitely.
ways?
Yeah.
It sounds like a
And
live game if I ever seen one.
yeah. Um, so now we get this flop. So it checks to him and he just jams.
Yeah. He's,
I
he's
think this
jamming.
is,
He's jamming his range there.
yeah, I think that just about anything he has, maybe not anything, but I think a lot of his hands are going to jam. I mean, yeah, I think this by no means he has I
No,
mean, he could have a 10 here, but
sure.
he can have over pairs, he can have nines, eights, stuff like that that just want to put the money in.
He can have
Um,
ace nine, ace jack.
yeah. So, I'm just gonna call here from in position. Um, I really don't mind getting check raised by either of these spots when it comes down to it. Because it's more or less if this guy check raises, it's probably light, and if it forces out him, now I'm heads up with somebody that I want to be heads up with, so that's
Okay.
okay with me. And I he
Did you consider did you consider the raise to be
I
head?
could I considered it, but I don't
Yeah.
really. That doesn't
I
really.
just want to make sure you thought of it.
It's not great, I don't think, because I don't really. I mean, I'm okay with another person getting in here
Exactly.
because
You're inviting other people into a pot that you don't hate them being there.
yeah, I mean, I want all of their draws that I have dominated to
Yeah.
play for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't want to really force them out. And obviously, I'm only winning 38 bucks from this guy when I hit.
Yeah.
So let's try and bring somebody else into this pot. We get what we want.
Yep, as
And
long as
now
you
we're,
don't raise it. Yeah.
yep. So we're heads up and we hit. So now he bets, now he leads for 50, which I mean, I play with the guy a lot. And I'm pretty certain this is a flush.
So
This is a
what's your SPR now? So your SPR is around it's less than one.
well, going in, yeah, it's right about it's one and a half here.
Oh well, after he bets,
Yeah, now it's one.
and
So
so this guy brings action. You said
yeah, he's an aggressive player. When he doesn't meet aggression, he will continue even with. I mean, he's capable of doing this as a bluff
Which is insane that he's
with Queen
bluffing.
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's capable of that with Queen Jack, and he's also very capable of doing this with a flush. But I know that when him and I play against each other, it's much more. He does have I don't know, I play with him a lot, and he has gotten stacked by me very often. So he doesn't really mess around too much from what I've noticed when I'm in it. I mean, I'll see him go crazy against certain people. I mean, like he jammed on somebody with 5-6 suited prior to this, and the guy calls off with ace king and losing his
So,
mind.
so I want to ask one
So the
question.
only cards we hate are a
A
third 10
9.
or a another. We don't particularly well, we do maybe do we like a fourth diamond or do we not like a fourth diamond?
We don't like a fourth diamond because he might fold, pocket eights without a diamond at that point. But I have a
Yeah.
question about him right here, which is he aware of just how useless this bluff is if he has Jack Queen? Just how useless a semi
Um,
bluff is for him here because the other guy's in the pot and the other guy either has a hand like who most of the time has a hand pocket deuces and better and ace eight and better. He has
I guess that
you know,
I think he's aware enough that he's not going to do this. That I think this is incredibly weighted towards a flush.
all right, great. Then it doesn't then you can happily jam here, you can happily click raise and you can happily call. Everything is good.
So yeah, and I don't want to. He sometimes doesn't fold, but I think that he has enough of a brain that if I jam here, I think I'm scaring off a lot of flushes, and he's already leading into me. I'm in position, so I
Yeah.
think that I'm going to
It's
generate
easy.
more fold equity here if I raise,
No.
and that he'll continue to bet the river. And if I raise them, I might get a call when most of his stacks committed at
Yeah.
that point. So I just make the call here,
Sure. Sure.
and then he leads out for 100.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing else to do.
No, no,
I was
yeah.
just kind of looking at my main question was here, and I mean, you heard my reasoning is that I think that he'll continue a lot, and he might get scared off sometimes whenever I raise here when he
Yeah.
has weaker flushes. So
Yeah, I mean you're never
I,
folding. I'm calling here in position is fine.
Yeah, you're
yeah,
fine. You're fine because your step depth on the river is not threatening to him, is not threatening
yeah,
to his hands.
he's got a 66% bet here, so I'm
Which
honestly
is
surprised he
interesting
didn't
to hear
just
from
put it in.
Scotty, right? Because Scotty often will recommend a fast play here, which is fine. But I think this situation is unique. I think Scotty because of the SPR.
Exactly. Exactly. The deeper you are, the more you have to get a raise in there because you don't want your river bet to be folded to. But this one's easy. He has
Yeah,
he has nothing or the other way. And if he's got and what do you lose value from not raising a crazy singleton king of diamonds? That's all you,
what do you?
and he's
Oh
probably
yeah,
betting
yeah.
that anyway. That's a stupid bet from him. So
So we just
yeah.
put the rest of it in. He ended up folding actually, and he does
Okay.
show he had Jack 7 suited. So when this guy had Ace 10.
Wow. He did fold a flush. So now the question is this on this. When you raise and he goes, now you have to have it. Does he fold the Jack 7 to a turn raise can
Yeah, I think
where
the
you
only thing that
can
I could raise there is
why are you
something like,
bluffing? Why are you bluffing a singleton ace of diamonds there to get him out when the other guy's still
yeah,
in? That's crazy. Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
yeah,
Is
yeah.
he a
The,
good
the
player?
protected pot.
I mean, most likely I would have probably played it more aggressively on the flop if that was the case.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
this is the kind of play. This is the kind of fold a good player makes.
Mhm.
that's what I say. He's action, but he does like, and he likes to gamble, but I don't think that he's actually like a very bad player. I think he's more of like, I want to have some fun. Let's do whatever. But from what I can tell, is that when he's actually playing against people that he deems as decent players, he starts to actually play a much better
Okay.
game than he does normally.
Did he show the Jack 7 or claim the Jack 7?
No, he showed it.
All right.
He said you got it and flipped it over, and he was like, "Come on, show it to me. I know you have to show it. I know you
Well,
have
you have
it."
to show
And
it anyway because you have to show to win. Yeah. All
yeah, so
right.
he was like, "I know
That's
you have it. Just show it."
yeah.
So
He's right. Okay.
yeah, I was like, "Good fold, man." But
Yeah.
yeah, he so now we got the next one. So I played these like a week ago, so I'm gonna have to try
Hmm.
and remember some of these hands. So I'm absolutely certain that I ISO here. I go to 25. I like
I
that
like that
sizing.
size. I like that size in this game a lot. And here's why. That's why.
I mean, I'm in position. I got a great hand.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. I think we actually end up heads up with him. That's weird.
Great. Perfect.
So we flop this. I'm pretty certain that I most likely see bet here. Yep. I go 25. I've been considering when I ISO to large sizes, making my C bet a smaller size in these spots and playing it somewhat closer to a three bet pot instead
Mhm.
of playing it more like a single raise pot when I am ISOing to, what
Yeah.
is that, 12 and a half X bigs. So something I've considered.
Well, let me
And
ask you
then,
a question on flop.
yeah,
So on flop, I mean, we've got a shit ton of equity. Do we ever want to size up here and generate folds from, let's say, a seven or maybe like sixes?
um,
Because I'm not sure. I'm asking the question.
I want to run a very profitable bluff. That would be if that is the case. So I don't mind them calling here. And then when they just call here, I mean, I just from imposition, I'm very comfortable running a triple barrel against a range that I think is capped and can't call me.
Yeah.
So I don't
So,
mind getting a call here, call the turn, and then just ripping the river when I miss.
so your SPR is around five. I guess it's easier to run a triple barrel bluff at SPR five.
Um, and that's what I like about going a little bit smaller here, actually.
Hmm.
Because when I go here, I get to 100, and then now I'm only at 2.5 for SPR. So it does make it a little bit less of a good spot to run it. Um, but then again, I also know that significant sizing does matter. So I can sometimes also go two street here
Hmm.
on the turn and just jam it on the turn when I miss. So I don't know, there's a lot of options here, but I mean, I do going bigger here. I mean, obviously you don't mind getting a fold from something like A7, but I can get another street of value from A7 and make it fold on the river as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
When
I
It
don't,
makes sense to turn this into a three street bluff right
yeah,
there.
yeah. And when Mark says the most profitable bluff is the one that gets called on the flop, called on the turn, and folded to on the river, and let's put as much money in on the turn as we can that we can make go away on the river with an oversized bet, all that. There's always the flip side of that, is which it's also the most expensive one when they call. And
yeah,
sometimes they, I just want to
Well,
make that clear that that also exists. All right, great. So
it's valid.
you go around half pot.
25, we get called.
Was this
Now we
the
hit.
same villain as the last hand? Sorry if I missed that.
I don't believe so. No, I don't have a note on him. I'm trying to remember. This was like a week ago, so I'm trying to remember as I go. I do remember this hand. I remember flopping, getting this flop and being like, hell yeah, that's not too bad, my right there. I got two overs in a nut flush draw. I'll take it. Um, Honestly, I would prefer to have like ace four here though, or something like that, so that I can cooler king X,
Right.
of
Bef-
spades.
All right. Before you go on to the next street, here's my question. Everybody type your answer in the chat. And the two questions are, so we've got the exploitative reasons for playing this pot the size we are. I want to know what you think the size, just if, because this is a weird hand because it went limp, 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 raise, and then this crazy call, the ISO and the crazy call. If this was just a regular button raise, small blind called, what do you think your most common sizing is as a percentage of the pot? Just type it in the chat.
I'll say
I've
out
got it
loud
on.
that I would still go half
Yeah.
because of the fact that in that situation pot would only be like 22,
Mhm.
23.
Yeah. So your exploitative reason for going half to get a read on him is great. I'm asking the other question, which is going to be either answer what do you think the GTO size is, just so we learn GTO at the same time, or what size are you going to do, and is it any different?
G-
I'm
GTO says
just gonna
Just
check a decent
type
bit.
it in so we get other people in. When you bet, I'm saying when you bet, and or this specific hand. We'll just do this specific hand. That's fair.
My guess GTO would be that it would have a polar size here.
Hmm. Yep, it does. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, definitely would have a polar size in this
Yeah.
situation
But
because this
I
is an
mean, if it
awful
was
board.
GTO, it'd also be what, a 2.5 open. So it'd be 5, 6 in the pot. GTO might go like pot
4.5.
or 150 pot to 9. If I was playing like a standard 1-3 game folded to me on the button, my open here is 10. He calls, so there's 13 in the pot. Or no, sorry, 23 in the pot. I'm
Yep.
probably betting like 15.
Okay. Sounds good.
Because at
So,
that point we're still in, absolute sizing because the pot's so small.
all right. So here we'll go on to the turn now. And so Larry and Melanie both went small. And the thought Melanie says, because the flop is better for the small blind, and that's kind of why you're going large, because you're not going frequent. So when you
Yep.
bet, you get to bet large on this board. And the ace king suited the ace king of spades is happy to bet,
I
you
think
know.
Ace King of Spades is absolutely. I think that our range is going to check at a high frequency, and I think this hand is one of the hands that's absolutely going to be betting at a high frequency. It's
Right,
going to be very polar.
Do
right.
you
And
have
here's the,
the
and I'll show
solve?
it
Do
to,
you want to show
yeah, I'm
it?
going to show it to you. I'll show it to you and then we'll give it right back to Brian. So this is
Yep.
funny what it is. The answer is hilarious because I was wrong. The size is right, is it just loves the big size in this, and it's checking 40% of the time, which is a large number for imposition here. So,
What?
but the funny thing is, on your ace king suited, your
Wow,
spades are the
that's the
one
one
that
that
check
checked.
the most. I think
Wow.
that's hilarious to me.
You think
And
implementably you would think this would be a hand that bets a
oh my
ton because
God,
it's
of
a
course.
draw.
Yeah, of course. The others are also a draw to some extent. You're drawing to an ace and a king. This is just really funny. And note its size. It prefers,
Yeah.
this is the one that prefers the smaller size. So, uh,
Well,
how's that for a lesson? All right, let's go back to Brian's hand.
oh,
Yeah, hilarious.
okay.
So, Mike,
So
as it turns out, Larry and Melanie were exactly right on this hand. All right, here we go. So you go half pot, great, just under.
get called. I
Okay.
actually don't love this card because now, I mean, yeah, it's good when they have a flush, but it's also not good when they're sitting here with an eight. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
so it's not a great card. I would be willing to bet. I don't remember that I go somewhat smaller here again to because I think there's a lot of hands. I mean, I think he's got some, he could have, I mean, it's unlikely they had a lot of king eight suited stuff like that that's going to call, but he could have had a lot of stuff. I mean, he's got straights that are gonna probably call a decent bit here. He's got eights that aren't gonna give me too much more money, so let's get a little bit more out of
But
them. And
now
then when
this
we go small, he can raise off his strong flush, his weaker flushes that are gonna, pay me out a lot of money. So I think going small accomplishes a lot, and going big just
Mhm.
folds out a ton of shit that we don't really need to fold when we're sitting here with the nuts. I
Right.
mean,
Now
the
give me
second
the
nuts.
now give me numbers for that. What's the number that means small to you?
What I would like here is about 40.
Okay. All right. So we're in the same range. That the 40 is the small and and the 80 is the chunky, but we definitely don't go over pot here. We don't need to.
and the
I'd
the
bet I
other
go like
problem,
40. Yep, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Jack of Spades is really just a bad card because that eliminates or blocks a lot, or eliminates a lot of combos that he would logically be here with.
Yeah, the only strong one that stays is Queen 10 of spades. Queen Jack of spades isn't there anymore.
Jack 10 of Spades is gone. Jack 9 of Spades is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
not a
yeah,
great card.
any of the combos he has that like really logically get here are now removed.
It
I
completes the
mean,
9-8, and it's hard for him to have 9-8 as played. I mean, he can, but it's hard. $25 for 9-8 suited.
10, you mean 10-9?
10-9, I'm sorry, 10-9.
Well, then he's
10-9.
got me crushed because he's got a straight flush. But
No, not 10-9 of spades. Just
uh,
10-9. Just 10-9
okay,
straight up. It
yeah.
brings in a straight that it's hard for him to have, but that's another hand that you can have. So here we
I was
go.
gonna say,
All right.
Scotty, if he's got 10-9 of spades, the money's getting
Oh,
in, and
then
I'm
no,
not
then yeah,
loving
the
it.
money's getting in. No, he gets to win. He gets to win.
10 9 of Spades,
Oh,
he gets all your money.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love my bet. I'm happy even after later on looking. I like it. Let's see what he does. Oh, he folds. So that's
Okay.
that's one thing that I've been running into here a decent bit is In this spot, I mean, I can consider, I don't want to go much smaller than this. It seems ridiculous to go much smaller than this, but this specific card, like even what Andy said in game, I'm thinking, okay, a lot of his best flushes aren't here anymore. Like they can't be here. So we've got to really target, sevens, eights, and stuff like that. I mean, at best,
Yeah,
you got something like Jack eight to pick up two pair and gets a little sticky here.
yeah.
I just think that
And
I kind of have a pretty identified range that this is not a very strong hand. He can't have a lot of strong hands here. So,
no,
I mean, like at best, he was slow playing a set, but even a set isn't going to love it. But a set's not folding for $40. So I'm just, I feel like I'm struggling to get paid right recently, which, that can also just be that you're running into hands that aren't strong and you have a strong hand and it just
he has
is what
ace
it
queen.
is.
Right.
He has ace queen of diamonds, and he's not calling anything that isn't 10. I mean, sometimes that just happens to you. He calls the one bet with ace queen of diamonds, doesn't pick up a draw, doesn't pick up an ace, doesn't pick up a queen, and you're going to bet $5 to keep that in,
Yeah.
and get only $5 from the rest of his range. I
Yeah.
thought my thing was anything from 40 to 80 is okay. So anything, I don't think you need to go smaller than 40. Anybody want to go smaller than 40 here?
Scotty, do you still have that solve up?
I
Yeah,
would
yeah. Let's see it.
consider,
Can we
I'll
see
go.
that solve?
Yeah, let's go.
here, because you think probably the absolute best hand he really could possibly have is pocket jacks, which pocket jacks, I don't know if they're folding to anything here.
Yeah,
But with that jack of spades coming, like we talked about, it eliminates a lot of his value combos
Yeah.
on
We're
that
down.
turn.
I honestly think that he has one combo here and
yeah,
it's queen ten of
So
spades.
yeah.
did
So
you ever
we
think,
bet the
I
equivalent of
mean, you could
small.
go like super exploitatively small to where like he's just not ever folding, and may even, decide that to spaz out and go like 25 or 30 or even check, hoping that, he does something on the river. Um, I
Yeah.
know, we hate to check there because of SPR, like we have a play for stacks here. We want to try and get all the money in. But with that being, I mean, that specific card eliminating so many value combos, we got to kind of start thinking about, well, shit, he doesn't really have much here. Because obviously he didn't check raise the flop. So we know he probably doesn't have any sets. Um, we almost go like really small, like egregiously small, like 25, 30 on the flop on the turn, or just check back and hope that he spazzes the river.
So if
So
you go,
Yeah.
that's the point I was going to make. I mean, I think probably the great majority of the time you want to bet here, but you can roll for some checks with the uber nuts.
let's see. I
Yeah.
never want to check there. Let's see. Does GTO ever check this hand? Like almost never.
I probably wasn't going to check, but my one idea is going egregiously small and maybe getting value from something like an eight that now thinks that we're pretty weak when we go super tiny here. And
Where
then,
look at the preferred sizing GTO uses, egregiously small.
Egregiously
okay.
small when you bet the 2.1 on the flop. When you go small, you keep it a lot. He's got so much small stuff left that you stay small, and he has check raises. They exist, and that's great. When you take the bigger line, when you go 4.9, and you do a little bit of filtering of his range there, and now you get it. Now you go bigger. So when you go
You're going to
4.9,
check a little bit more.
you continue you have a
Yeah, I
few more
mean,
checks. And,
checking is against the right customer. Checking is fine.
yeah,
It depends a lot. I don't at this SPR. You probably. I mean, I think Scotty's right. You want to bet the majority of the time,
I like to
but
bet a majority of the time, but if I'm pretty confident that a lot of his value combos are gone and I'm targeting a pretty
well,
weak range, I'm considering going like 20, 25 there because we still accomplish all of his flushes that did get there raising at that point,
yeah.
but then we're able to also keep in his eights and his pocket nines and stuff like that that don't want to fold to one bet to two bets yet.
like in
So
Which
when
would,
PLO,
he,
you trap check here a lot because you've got the king of spades. I don't think it's quite as important in no limit hold'em, but um, holding the king of spades. I mean, I think we looked at the solve. We're not really checking that much, but we're going to check probably a lot less with are flushes that don't hold the king of spades, like an ace three of spades or whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's what
here's
I was saying is I would definitely like to go with ace king. It's a very different. It's like a very specific hand that I don't want to that I can consider going pretty small with because I'm blocking just so much. You hear me
Right.
saying the word blocking, but I'm blocking so many of his continues
And,
here. I
and
mean,
it would change a lot as well if that was instead of the jack of spades, it was the three of spades.
yeah.
Because
yeah,
then it doesn't remove nearly as many value combos. At this point, like he has very, very few value combos.
yeah.
So if you go,
So
so here, oh, go on, Andy,
I was
finish
gonna
up.
say, so I mean, like I know we can look at the GTO, but in all honesty, this is live 1-3. Like most of these players can't even spell GTO.
Yeah, it's a hard word to spell.
Yeah.
Um, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know
so
what you're
I
saying.
know like we can sit and think about value combos and this and that. And I guess, most 1-3 players are probably gonna spaz with any fucking flush they have here.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Especially when we check this. So if they have a flush, we're
Well,
probably at what 1 point, we're like 1.6 SPR. Oh
there's
no, we're
another.
2.5 because it counts that bet. So we're what? Two before you bet, we're 2.5.
Mhm.
If he has a flush, we're probably getting the money in on the river anyways, even if you check here or bet egregiously small.
Well, there's one beautiful part about the line of checking here is that we can force them into an incredibly overbluff spot. By checking here, they're gonna donk often on the river, and they're gonna deal with their bluffs and their flushes. So
Right.
I
And
don't
though
hate it
and
to check
even though
here.
our
Yeah.
opponents might not have any concept of like range analysis and card removal and blockers, like that still, I mean, every player kind of has that at some fundamental level in the back of their head, whether they're aware of it or not. Um, so I mean, by checking here, like we said, we might get a spaz because we know that they can just never have all that many value combos. They don't know, like they're never thinking like what does my opponent get here with? And I can't say never thinking, but a lot of them are never thinking, what does my opponent get here with? What's their range? What's my range? And looking at that jack and saying, well, shit, I can have almost no value combos. They're just gonna, oh well, he checked when the flush came. He's afraid of the flush. I'm gonna spaz out.
Exactly,
Right.
and that's part of like you can kind of force them into that line by checking here, which I don't hate, but
Okay,
it's
let me say something in favor of your small bet line. If you bet egregiously small here, you to him, if he's to whatever attention he's paying, you look like you have a decent hand that doesn't like the flush,
yes.
and therefore you can be bluffed off. So that's good. Um, if he calls you and checks the river, I think that you need to go egregiously big on the river, and here's why. When you bet small here, you rope in his ace seven and his ace eight. And why does he have these hands in this uh, situation anyway? That's silly, but he somehow does. You rope those in, but you also keep in everything that is strong but less than a flush, because we're going to assume his flush is raised to you.
Mhm.
And on the river, they are all going to call that same small bet, but some of those eights and sevens are going to are going to fold. So let's not target those tiny hands twice.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is if you go really small here, then I still want you to jam the river to pick up against his scared two pair, um, and to look a little bluffy to
So
this.
when he called here, I don't think I'm gonna jam the river, but if he calls here, I'm gonna really put him in. I'm gonna say that he's got a lot of hands that it would be weird,
Not
but he
not the
could
40.
get here
Let's say
with
he. Oh, go on. Yeah,
people will float too wide. So I
yeah,
mean, one of the best hands the better hands that they could have getting here without raising me on the turn would be something like King Jack with the Queen Jack with the Queen of Spades,
yeah,
which obviously on the river, if we don't get another spade, we're not going to get paid out a ton by. Um, I mean, it would
yeah.
be. I wouldn't want to go massive on the river when he only calls
Okay,
here because I think
okay.
when we go small, we so if it is a more trappy player, they're gonna raise off. I'm gonna expect them
Yeah.
to raise off the river often when I go small, and then obviously I just have an easy call and I get all their money. But if they are, and then all their weaker hands still get to call there, so I think we get to target more of his range, like his two pairs
So
and
you
stuff
want
like that.
so you want to target his weakest hands twice in when you take the small line and
Which
don't get raised.
just because
Okay.
he's telling me he doesn't have anything that's very strong to call
Okay.
me off with, and all of his strongest hands will probably put more money in for me on the river.
Okay.
So I don't mind taking that route. I know what you mean though,
Yeah.
because it's just hard to figure out what we're targeting though on the river
Yeah.
whenever we go. I mean, if it's a super passive player, if it's the most passive patty on the planet that's never raising me unless they have the nuts or anything closer, then I would be more inclined to go big here because I think they still have flushes they can call big size there, and let's not target their
Right.
eight twice or whatever, or or their jack
Right.
twice. But more if it's a more aggressive player that doesn't raise me here, then I know that they don't have anything super strong. So it's
Yeah.
time to we have to
Yeah.
target a smaller portion, their weaker portion of their range.
Yeah. And I think I like if in a choice between a check and a small bet, I think I like the small bet better. And the risk of both the check and the small bet is when another spade comes off and then you never got the decent value you were going to get from, from the pairs.
Jack eight or
But
something,
it's
you
a
know.
risk, but it's whatever. It's a risk.
Yeah.
It's
So
I mean it's
I
a
think both those
risk.
make sense.
Yeah.
And I think that the guy who didn't call 40, and I think the hand that didn't call 40 in this specific case, that hand I don't think called 25 either.
Yeah, it's just not
Yeah,
strong.
it's just no money for it. Okay, next sounds good. Okay, next hand.
Okay. Ace Queen. Oh boy, is this the hand that I was kicking myself during? Okay, we got Ace Queen offsuit. I'm trying to remember. This is
Okay,
not the hand
there we
because
go.
this is we want I was heads up in that hand.
Okay, I do not object. I do not object to your 10x sizing.
No, that's
Not
what
at
there was
all.
one limp. There was one limp. Yeah, so
Yeah, I
that's
know.
gonna
That's what I'm
go.
saying. You still
Yeah.
got if you get if 10x gets called, it is certainly not too small.
Yeah. I mean, it really depends on the game. Like when I played
Yeah,
on Friday, I was sizing down because I would get a lot of folds, but when I
yeah.
played, I mean, when I put the regs, that's when I get called like crazy. So I just size to
Hmm.
mass. I just go much
Yeah,
bigger.
yeah.
So get check, check, drunk, drunk, drunk. Oh God, I remember this hand. This is rough. Okay, this one, the thought process was terrible on this hand. I really dislike it. But so we use check, check. And I've been experimenting, like I talked about, of c betting multi-way when I'm fully in position because I still want to accomplish getting raised off by their strongest hand so that I don't have
Okay.
a weird spot on the turn where they start to bet and I don't really have any idea of what kind of fold equity I'm going to have and how strong their
Hmm.
range is. Because after it goes check, 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 a lot of aggressive players will just start to blast off with random shit. So and this guy's drunk, so he's been playing a little bit
Right.
crazy. This one's embarrassing. Okay, so we get called here.
Oh,
Okay.
I've got one to top yours, trust me.
What'd you say?
I've got a hand that'll top your embarrassing hand.
Okay.
Oh, I got more embarrassing hands to come, so
Yeah.
don't worry. Um, so now he checks to me again, and I'm like, okay, he's just calling. He's got a lot of draws, and he's got single pair type hands. That's pretty much what I think is here, and I think that we can get. And I think I wanted to go somewhat small here still to get raised off by eights that just turned into trips with a double flush board that want to protect their hand. So I believe that I go small here. It makes sense. Yeah, I want a little bit bigger, but yeah, I want somewhat small still, technically comparatively to the pot.
Let me ask
I
you
think,
a question here.
yep, go ahead.
So when you make this bet, are you thinking now on a good river? You're going to put it all in?
So my that's what I want to talk about. My process here was bad. But yes, so I was in between two things and I was like, I can target it doesn't make any sense though. This is the whole problem with it, is that the whole problem with what I did here is that I'm not considering my hand type and that all of his mesh draws I beat,
No.
except
Yeah.
for except for something with a two or whatever that has a flush. So in this spot, I need to be thinking differently. Is that I'm gonna go? So I'm gonna when I do this, I'm more or less targeting. I'm targeting his draws for value, which sounds ridiculous, but I want to target his draws for value to fold them on to win on the river, and I want to target his sixes, sevens, um, pairs of fours, some like maybe nines that are going to get a little bit scared when they see this card come in, stuff like that. I don't think he's going to have a lot of nines. He is a more aggressive player that probably would three bet me with nines. So I think he's got under pairs and single pair type hands a
When
lot
you
of the
make
time
this
and
bet,
draws.
also, are you before you begin to construct this bluff, are you thinking about what cards are good and what cards are bad on the river? Good cards
Um,
being one where you can put in a second barrel.
Good cards are overcards. Um, Basically any overcards. I don't think a lot of the time when I'm breaking his range down into single pair hands and draws, I don't know if I really want to see the draws, but I think that I know how the pool plays well enough that when their draw gets there, I do have good opportunities to bluff when they don't donk the river after their draw
Yeah.
gets there, because a lot of players will do that. So I think that clubs are okay because I either run or I have a great card to rip it on and scare them off, stuff like that. Um, I would say bad cards are fours. Anything that pairs the board more. Like any eight's awful. Obviously, we don't want to see an eight, unlikely, but we don't really want to see a two, or a four. Um,
We don't
I
want to
all
see a
around.
five, a six. We also don't want to see a five, a six, or a seven.
Yep, I don't want to see any of those cards. I think that the best cards are just like
Ace or
overcards.
queen.
Yeah, I mean ace or queen's not too bad. I would be pretty pissed though if I hit
King
one.
is fine. King is fine.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what
yeah, those.
I've been doing here is I've been trying to construct what I'm not running through all the potentialities, but I'm trying to construct what cards do I like to see on the river to continue my aggression, and then
Yeah,
begin
there's.
to understand that not every card
That's true. And
really
there's
is
to.
going to allow me to double barrel my ace high air.
Well, the one problem too is that whenever we're talking with whenever like last session, it was I think it was me. I think it was just down to the four of us with Melanie and Scotty and you, Larry,
Hmm.
and you guys asked if I would ever give up here. And if there's a reason to, yeah. But if I think I have the potential still to take it, then no. So like when I get there and I see a card, I'm sure my brain will be thinking, okay, this is either a very bad card or a good card. And what can I get to fold here? And how do I want to play this? Because like if a flushing card comes in and he checks to me, I mean, and I don't want to jam technically because yeah, there's some players that will check their flushes that get there on that river. But I also think that I definitely have the ability to pick a sizing that's going to get them to fold all their stuff like sixes, sevens, eights, not eights, sixes or sevens. I'm going to run into brick walls against eights. A lot of like a drunk player is probably not going to fold his eights, but they will probably fold when the flush comes in and there's a pairing the board over their pocket pair. So there's a lot of stuff that I can get to fold there that I don't have to go egregious with. I'll go egregious with any like king or obviously, I mean, a queen I wouldn't go egregious because now I'm going to be targeting value. So, or a queen
Yeah.
or an ace, I'll probably be going for value at that point. So I'm not going to go insane.
Yeah, I just it just makes sense. I think, yeah, just start constructing
That
what
is
cards
true.
are really bad and you give up, and what are your best cards to double.
Well, who wants to see
Mhm.
me play this awfully? Because right as I made the bet, I knew I did something
Everybody.
wrong. So now we get this card, which is not a great card.
Well,
But a lot of the time, these players are going to donk here when they hit their straight or their
hmm
whatever they hit, they're gonna donk here. So when he checks, oh my gosh, I don't even want to talk about it because this is just one of those spots. I hate this. So 75 was okay. I think I can get. I think I still have brick walls that I'll run into when I do this. I think that it's possible that I still have brick walls that are gonna just not gonna go anywhere. But we can bet a smaller size to fold out his like weaker
ace
pairs
to
and
get him to, but what really you're targeting without meaning to is you're targeting ace five of clubs.
Yeah, which is
That's what
stupid, obviously,
I'm not sorry, not
because
ace
that's
five,
a
because
straight.
that's there. No, not straight.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're folding out ace. You're going to successfully fold out ace seven of clubs. Good job.
Yeah, which isn't good.
Right,
So,
exactly.
and I wasn't thinking here, so I was like, what I would prefer to do here, what I think is a much better play here, is to go one one again once again after watching this guy play more. I would think that don't fucking bluff at all, actually, is a good play here because the guy is just calling down crazy shit. I
Yes,
hadn't
calling.
seen it yet. But to
He has a
if I
pair.
was
You don't
playing,
have it. He has a pair. You don't have an eight. You can have clubs. You can have hearts. I call.
yes. So I think in the future, one I mean, I don't like the sizing. I think that against a reasonable player that is going to fold, I should go like 125. I think 125 folds out all of his pairs and stuff like that. And it sucks when we get snapped off by an eight that played very passively. But I
Mhm.
also think that there shouldn't be a ton of eights here. I mean, I think the only thing that we run into is a brick wall of like pocket fours and pocket twos and stuff like that that were invulnerable, and that's why they didn't raise on the turn
Right.
whenever the double flush came in. So I think that we can go like 125 here and accomplish that, and we don't need to fold out any draws because we beat all of the draws, which is just a stupid
Right.
thought process.
I don't think it's stupid. I mean, I think risk reward, right? You just when you make this small bluff, you just accept that you're going to get caught a lot by sevens and sixes. I mean, you're not,
Let's see
but you're
what
not
calls him.
targeting those. You're targeting a very specific part of his range, which are
But
busted
what part of
draws.
that range is it? Is it just is it just 4x and deuce x
I think
in a
that we can
pot that's been
accomplish
raised?
that stuff like
Yeah.
120 with 125 because 125 becomes significant in the game. So I think
Yeah.
125 can fold out things like sixes, sevens,
Right.
like fours, twos. I just think 75 was just not a thought through bet as
Right.
much as it should have been. And also just I didn't understand the player I was playing against yet and realized that this guy I'm not going to have a lot of fold equity against. I mean, I think if a king comes off or something like that, now we have a decent, we can maybe get those types of hands to fold. But I think with this board, and I mean, I'll show you what he has. So I hate this sizing. This is awful. I feel like
I don't think
fish.
it's awful. I think you're just targeting a narrow part of his range. I mean,
Agree with you, Brian. I think it's an awful
Goon
size.
talks about this sizing.
Mhm.
Right. But for this hand. So let's see what
This hand it doesn't
let's
make
see if
sense with is my
yeah.
specific hand. This hand makes sense when I'm sitting here with King X of clubs and I'm trying to fold out their Ace X of clubs
Right.
or whatever it is. It doesn't make sense when I'm sitting here with Ace High and now the only thing I should be targeting is his pocket pairs and fours and twos and whatever that have one pair and can't withstand much aggression here. On that situation, that's when I should be going
Yeah.
bigger because his range is pretty identified. That the only reason I didn't want to go massive is because there are still brick walls that I run
Right.
into. So it's like, let's not run into a brick wall, but how big can we go to get a
I mean,
seven, sixes, fours, twos to fold?
if you're
Right.
using hungry horse logic, then what you're saying is you're
Very much so.
targeting an elastic range, right? So if you're targeting an elastic range, you have to bet bigger.
Yes, that's right. And I made the mistake right here that I didn't completely think through my sizing here. And I made a this was a bad spot. This
Yeah.
was not a bad spot. I think this is a good spot. I think that I just chose the wrong size.
All right, let's see what he called you with.
Sevens, sixes. Yeah.
Sixes.
Yeah.
Sixes.
Yeah.
Sixes who said it's hard for you to have an eight.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and he's drunk, so let's think about that in
Yeah.
the future. That a
Yeah.
drunk player that I'm already seeing call down with, I hadn't seen it at that point, but as the night went on, I saw him just call down with anything. I mean, he was losing and calling down or winning and calling down just with ridiculous hands. So the future,
May
let's
so
not do that.
yeah. So in the future, the answer to this guy may have been not to bet it.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe
Okay.
there's times that he folds, but I mean,
What
Yeah.
do you think the overall percentage of C bet is? Just the percentage that you should be C betting that 8-4-2 flop.
oh, very, 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 very low. Overall, I'd say it's probably like, should I be betting there? I mean, multi-way, I would say that it's going to be maybe it'll work in a few more since you're going to be betting small, but I'm saying most of the time it's probably going to be more than around 60% that you're
60.
checking.
Oh, checking 60. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's your little here's the
Oh yeah. I didn't even see that. Hell yeah.
here's
Yeah.
Prometheus. So the
So,
overall frequency of betting, this is on this board, check, check,
mhm,
um, is 57% overall. And when we get to our specific hand, ace queen offsuit, without the ace of clubs, you never do it without you never do it without a club. So you have to
mhm,
have a club to do it. And you had the queen of clubs. Your
mhm,
particular combination is happy to do it. It's still a minority play. The
mhm,
check is the most common play there for your hand. And then the freak thing is the ace of clubs with the queen of hearts is the one that doesn't do it.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I we've seen this and we've seen this a lot. I don't think it's that important to learn it, but when the time comes, the idea that you need a club to do this is worth learning. And the fact that the queen of hearts is the one that doesn't do it is eh, worth observing. Learn it or don't. All right. And when you bet,
Yep.
and when you bet here, which you did, you bet small, comes back around. He's the big blind, right?
Yes,
Okay. So
I think.
small blind folds, big blind absolutely calls his sixes happily. It's happy to call sixes against you.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, I just dislike that when I got there, I part of my brain
Yeah.
was let's fold out his draws. It's like we don't need to fold out any of his draws, so we
Right.
should only be targeting his one pair hands, and I think we need to go
Right.
bigger to target those one pair hands.
Right.
And in general, that doesn't even make sense because if I was in that same spot with a missed draw that was king high, I should still be going bigger to target his draws and his one pair hands that
Right.
are there
And
still.
then, right. And then you should ask the question, what does it take to fold this guy off as one pair hands on this hand
It might be
now?
a jam.
It might be a jam or nothing. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next hand.
Yep. Yeah. I don't like the way I played that, but
He did.
that's why I'm here. All right. A7. Okay. So this one, I actually like the way I played this until a few hands later.
Yeah.
Um, so flop top two.
Great.
Awful flop. Was so pissed off when I saw
Terrible
this.
flop.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was incredibly angry. So I check here. Um, we are going to go for a check raise, but it checks through. So now
Now,
we get
on
this
anything
turn.
except, yeah. So now you can't bet successful. You want to bet big because you want to catch up, but you can't because they just don't
Yes.
have an ace. So you got to bet what a
It
king will
doesn't.
call.
This guy's from what I knew prior, he seemed like a decent player. I hadn't,
Yeah.
and part of that comes from the fact that when I see someone that just isn't like a limper, they are taking the aggressive route
Hmm.
pre-flop. I am gonna identify them as slightly better than most of the pool
All
because
right.
most
What's
of the
your
pool is
identification?
just limp calls, limp calls, limp calls, limp calls, and that's all they do. And when
So he
they're
can have aces. So he can have aces in range. He has
yes,
some aces he can check back.
yes,
Okay.
I think he does. So now I
All
overbet
right.
here. So we go
All
for
right.
40. We get the fold here and we get the call here. So now I think that his ranges consists of I think this I don't know if he's gonna call and overbet with kings. A king is possible. I think he has aces. He's got he can have some like queen 10 of diamonds, queen 10. He can have straight draws. He can have aces. He can have I mean there's a lot of different hands he can have, but I
Yeah.
think that he's now filtered into a stronger portion of his range that can call
Yep.
a
And then
larger
Brian,
size on the
I
river.
want to change one. I want to change one thing in your language. When you're saying aces, say ace X and king X, so that
Yeah.
everyone hears it. Is that we're not saying slow played pocket aces?
No, yes, yes.
Right.
Ace X,
Yeah.
King X,
Yeah.
draws that for whatever reason didn't bet the flop. They might have been avoiding a check raise on the flop, of course. So, because I mean, he might be a player that protects his checking range. He's so far I've identified him as being a slightly better player than most of the pool, which doesn't mean a lot, but it does mean it means something. So now we get this on the river. So now 4-5 gets there, but I'm not going to play scared of that. So I accidentally made a mistake here with this size. So I believe that I technically went 125 here. I actually announced I put the money in and I thought I had 150. The problem was that I bet prior with a green chip from my stack
Right.
and
Yep.
didn't
That's
realize that
me.
I didn't have the other green chip in it now whenever I made this bet. And I thought I bet 150. So like I put 125 in. He asked how much. I said 150 and the dealer was like, no, it's 125. I was like, fuck. But
Right.
So then he tanks a little bit and he calls and he shows an ace, which now this is what made me angry was that later on that night, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know what his kicker was, so he could have had ace queen, something like that, which I think is a reasonable call.
Hmm.
Okay. And so I think then later on that night, he then showed him calling down with something like a seven. It wasn't a two pair. And I was like, okay, so now I know this player's not capable of folding his ace. And now that made
Hmm.
me think that I played this wrong. But it's like just a note in the future that we now know that this guy's not going to fold his one pair aces. So we need to just be going for all of it here.
Right. So when you made your bet, you probably said that, but I didn't hear it because I glanced away. So on the river here, we you're targeting ace X.
Yep.
Are you have you given up on targeting king X?
Um, yeah, I mean, I I could target King X. But how much is King X really gonna call
Right. That's what I'm
here?
saying. Is let's look at that size. What is it? What do we believe ace X calls here?
I
Um,
thought 150 was
sure,
reasonable.
maybe. Yeah, maybe 180.
Yeah, I thought 150 was the size. Obviously, I accidentally put in 125.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
so
And what does a king
yeah,
call?
Yes, it's still pop plus.
king doesn't call a lot here. I think I go 40 again, target a king.
Okay.
Maybe 50, 60, I'd say.
Yeah.
Um,
I think king
yes,
calls. I think a king calls 80.
80. I think so. What I went to here, so we got 113, 80 in the middle. He might call 80 with
Yeah.
a king.
Yeah.
But I did think that his range is gonna be heavily weighted towards draws that are not worth targeting
Right.
on the river and
Yeah.
aces after he calls an overbet here,
Hmm.
which was correct. But yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's and obviously I don't like this sizing because that's not the sizing I chose, but I was happy with
Right.
this sizing because this was not an in between. I mean, at
Hmm.
least my brain wasn't thinking
Yeah.
in between. My
Yeah.
brain meant to go 150, and that was the
Yeah.
size that I thought was the right size to target his ace. Instead of going, well, I think a king will call 50, and I think an ace will call 150. Let's go 100. So I like this size more. And that's
Good.
something that we've been working on, and I think so. Happy to
Good.
show
Yeah.
me doing what I was supposed to be doing.
Mm. So your brain got it right and your hand got it wrong.
Yeah. Well,
As I
I
said,
mean,
welcome to
yeah,
Scotty
but
land.
yeah, that was a it was just because when I bet the 40, I used a green chip and
Hmm.
I had 125 in green chips and
Yep.
I grabbed all my green chips and put 25 red on it and threw it out there and I was like
Yep.
150 and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you idiot."
Yep.
But yeah, so happy to show that one. This one. All right. Raise the 10.
Okay.
Call. This is the guy that I can tell watches a bit of Hungry Horse but misapplies it and
Right.
doesn't play it correctly.
This guy's back in our story.
Yep, he plays all the time. He's closer to my age, and as a person, I like him. I don't say much. I don't tell him much of anything, but he's a cool guy. But he'll always be like, "Oh, look at that sweet baby there." I'm like,
Hmm.
"Yep, look at." He definitely watches. So then he checks, and
Does he
I'm
say
gonna
that
bet.
with other people when he's in the hand or when he's not in the hand?
Sometimes he'll show me his cards when he's playing. He's like, "Sweat this with me," and then he says, "Oh, look at that sweet baby," and it'll be like a complete miss or whatever it is, or something like that. But so
Looks like
now
you got a poker buddy. He wants to sweat cards with you,
yeah,
for better or
they,
worse.
yeah, he's leaving. He's going back to college, so
All right.
he's gone now. Might have got a little too friendly with him because I was like, it's finally someone my age. I'm used to playing with everyone that's like
Right.
85 and has a walker. Um, But he raises, and in this spot, I'm like, he like when you like their hand a lot. This is I'm trying to think because I was like, okay, let's just put more money in. He likes his hand. I like my hand. He's got tons of combo draws and stuff like that that aren't going to fold. He's got 10x. He just might not fold, and he loves the hero call, and he thinks that I'm full of shit all the time. So I mean, I was thinking, let's just raise here. And is that I do raise, and I take a monster size because when he check raises me here, I'm thinking he's got a lot of strong hands that are going to be inelastic to a larger bet that I'm not going to get paid out on by the river.
Some
So
would
let's
argue
just
the only wrong way to play this hand is to fold.
Well, yeah, and I was wondering, like, what do you got? I dislike the size that I take, I think.
I mean, when you look at this hand in solver, often these kind of middle sets, the solver really is unsure how to play it as well. It will do a lot of things. It will raise big. It will slow play. I mean, it chooses a lot of lines here.
And honestly, I think that maybe I like the slow play better. I mean, he folds here. This is
It's a
the only
wettish
spot.
board.
It's
I
a wet
mean,
board,
you're
man.
allowed to raise here.
Mm,
It's really hard to misplay this hand.
yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was like, this is a wet board. If he's got, I mean, he can have ace 10 of diamonds. He can have tons of hands that are just not folding. And
I
let's
mean,
just
you're
pile the
unblocking
money in now.
10x. You're
Yeah.
unblocking all the draws. I mean, again, if we were to put this in solver, it would choose many different lines. It will give you kind of a choose your own adventure spot because this is the way it often plays, like middle sets unblocking value.
Yeah. I mean, he folds here.
This is not, I mean, you can fast play it, it's fine.
Honestly, so the one thing though is that part of what makes me make this play is that I mean, I do bluff him very often, like through, I mean, I bluff everybody very often when I'm playing, but, and he's like, very, because I remember I told you that I made the adjustment that I knew he's playing Hungry Horse, so he's c-betting far too often in position. So I was check raising all my low equity draws to force him
Hmm.
off of his hands
Yeah.
and then calling with higher equity hands to try and get him to triple barrel. And basically, I mean, basically check raised all of my draws is part of it because
Yeah.
I don't mind getting folds from all my draws, and then played a lot of value hands passively and just let him try to triple barrel into me. And I mean, he might not play the Hungry Horse strategy great, but he is a thinking player, and I saw him make some good plays that I was like, okay, that was actually really smart what he did there. So he definitely was like, you're just check raising me all the time. You're just bluffing me, aren't you? And I was like, no, I'm definitely not doing that. But I mean, in actuality, it was. So he was thinking enough that he knows that I will apply
Hmm.
aggression to him as a bluff very often. So
It is a weird feeling, and I'm curious if you guys had to swear when you play against a regular and you come the next day and they're next to you and they then say, I was thinking about that hand last night. Did you bluff me on that?
and
And
I'm
you
like,
did bluff. And you're like, oh man.
well, they might have been able to tell because I kind of laughed a little bit the one time. He was like, yeah, you were, weren't you? And I was like, no,
I
definitely
usually
not.
say, I usually say, well, I might have. I don't remember.
But
Like it's
yeah, so
like I have bluffs.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. In the time, I was
Roll,
thinking, okay, he's got
roll
tons of
for it,
hands.
Larry.
Yeah, roll for it.
Roll for your answer. Okay, so on this one, when he raises you, if he's thinking in Hungry Horse terms, he's trying to get an answer.
No, that's not always true because a lot of the time, if he was thinking Hungry Horse here, all of his regular value hands wouldn't want to raise here. All of his combo draws would want to raise here. And all of his play for stacks hands would want to raise here. So all of his sets, two pairs want to raise here, and all of his combo draws and things like that want to raise here, but all of his 10x just wants to call.
Right. So when he raises you here, your re-raise, his combo draws call anyway, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is his
Right.
combo draws and every once in a while shit he has pocket tens, but he plays that aggressively, so he doesn't have
Oh
pocket
yeah,
tens.
they'll just go
He's
broke
got
against pocket tens. It's just
yeah, and
yeah.
he's got pocket fours. He's got 10-8, which is unlikely, but still
Hmm.
possible. He's got all types of hands, or he's got, if he for whatever reason tried to trap me with something like aces, kings, or jacks, which he actually did try to do recently.
Hmm.
And so he's got a lot of hands that aren't going to, they can still call here. And theoretically, if he's playing it correctly, which I don't think he is that he's actually has offered now, he wants to stake me at a higher game now, this guy.
Nice.
And but
that's a
I
nice
was
that's a nice compliment.
yeah, but I said I don't know if I feel comfortable playing with someone else's money. And he was like,
Hmm.
"But you don't pay me back. You just give me 35% of profit." And I was like, well,
35%. I'm taking that deal all day long.
I'm considering it. He wants to do it. And he's like, I'm in school right now. And he's like, honestly, dude, he's like, I know that you can beat the higher game. So I would stake you. If you pay me out, then I get paid while I'm at school and you get to play at higher stakes. So I've considered it, but we'll see what happens. But
If before you do it, talk to someone who has had a staking relationship. I haven't.
mhm,
To find out the things you need to do in advance. I think one of the things I would do is talk about and what are the outs like if he wants to get out of it, what responsibilities do you have? Does he just go, okay, I'm done doing it and you don't owe him any money back and like this? And if you want to get out of it because you get there, you build you find you're beating the game, and you go, I don't need to give away 30% anymore.
yeah,
Or I'm beating the game, but I'm beating the game not for 30% more than I was beating the other game. So this is not for me. So saying in advance, how does each of us get out of this cleanly and with no hard feelings? I think is something you need to ask, but there's probably other questions you'd need to ask that I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of considerations if you're getting into a staking
Yeah,
relationship,
yeah,
yeah.
especially
So
in cash. Cash has
his
got some
offer,
unique
yeah,
yeah, so
spots
his
to it.
offer was to cover 35% of all my buy-in and then take 35% of profit, and he'll take the hit on all the loss.
It's an
Which,
interesting choice.
yeah, I was like, that seems like a really one-sided deal that's great for me, but I
If
also
you want to
don't.
talk about staking, get in touch with me offline. We can talk about it a little
I
bit.
think it's a good. Yeah, I mean,
Sounds good.
just the start of it is it sounds like a good deal to me. You lose some profit from the top side, but the fact is, the thing you were worried about was the risk of ruin at the top at the higher stakes and not playing for the money differently, and maybe this does it for you. Anyway, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that hand's
All
over.
right.
He folds. He
Yeah.
claims to have had 10x, which
Yeah.
who knows? But I think all of his combo draws call here and everything like that. I think there's some merit in slow playing
Hmm.
this against somebody that is capable of doing this as a bluff and then barreling
Yeah.
off on the turn. So it's a possibility. Um,
Yeah.
but I
The
mean,
nice thing is no street is going to go check check if you don't want it to. So that's good.
yeah, yeah, I'm in position, so that's why I would
Yeah.
consider more of just calling there
Yeah.
instead of. But a lot of the time when I'm sitting here, it's like, okay, well, he's capable of doing this as a bluff, but all of his bluffs should have a lot of equity here.
Yeah.
So a lot of his bluffs should just call me.
And I think
And
the
every
texture allows for fast playing sometimes.
right. And every flush that he folded, by the way,
It's okay.
you made money on. You just made less money
Yeah.
than another line. He folded away equity. So that's great.
Yeah.
All right.
I just thought that that one's
Yeah.
interesting. Oh, this one's gross.
Yep.
Ah, okay, I'm in the big blind. I can fold here, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
once we get a call here, and now this is like a very identified range, and I have a range that can cooler that range.
Yep.
He does not open. So this is a strong ass hand that's all the money's going in with when
Yep. When you hit.
basically on any flop, and then when I hit, I'm getting all the money. So we have I want to call it and try and, wreck this guy's world. And now it gets even better and better and better because now we have more players in. And if I miss, I just fold. And if I hit, I get to get to scoop a big pot.
Or get
And
coolered yourself.
yeah,
This is
as
great.
well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
This is
happens
perfect.
sometimes.
Yeah. This is perfect. Yeah.
So I check here because one, I think this guy's going to bet
Yeah.
this often because I think his raising range is very
Yeah.
small. It consists of a lot of overpairs to this board.
Yeah.
So let's check here. This guy bets. This guy calls.
Great. So
This
now
guy
comes the
folds.
raise.
I think we go to like 50. Yep.
Great.
And then I think I can go bigger here. But I don't mind this size. Especially if we're pretty identified that we think that this is going to be a strong range. The only thing that made me
Hmm.
think twice about it was the fact that he didn't raise this guy,
Yeah.
which can be very nutted hands or hands that are just like not willing to give up yet and are
Hmm.
good hands pre-flop but aren't great now.
Right.
Um,
But
Now I
also
get called.
we get to see what the first raiser has. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get called, which is crazy. So what does he have? He has tens and he has 10x. He
Flush draws,
has flush draws.
straight draws, combo draws. He's got a
Yeah,
ton of,
four, five of spades.
yeah,
Just a straight draws. That's a lot of money for just a 4 5. Okay.
yeah. Um, I'm not like concerned yet though. I think this is going to be a lot of 10x that's not ready to fold yet, and
Hmm.
um, flush draws that we
Yeah.
want to get maximum from.
Right.
Now this guy jams, and so I jam here, and because one don't like I don't care if a flush draw folds, and I want the flush
Right.
draw to pay the maximum.
Yeah.
So if a flush draw folds, that's okay,
Right.
and if it calls, that's also okay.
Yeah.
So let's just make him pay more to see it.
Right.
So jam, he calls.
Oh, never fun when the Sunrunner calls you.
Right. And and the flush got there.
Hit threes.
Yeah.
And this is messed up because I put it in like a weird order, and
Yeah.
this should have gone over
Right.
here. I mean,
Yes, it
I was
should.
thinking my only real question is on this. I mean, yeah, I lose all my money here pretty much either way. Um, Honestly, the only way I don't lose my money is if I, which I would never do, is just call here and then this guy raises. Now I'd be somewhat concerned. Um, because this guy just doesn't put money in. He's
Hmm.
sun running and doesn't put money in the
I
pot.
think this
And
is
when he
just a,
did put, what's up?
I think you're looking at a cooler here.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a cooler. It is what it is. I left directly after this hand. I was pretty pissed off. I had already gotten coolered right before that, so I was like, all right,
Hmm.
time for me to
Yeah,
go.
this
And it
is just
was
a cooler.
2 days in a row. I got coolered 4 times in 2 days, and I
That
played.
sucks.
So I was like, it's time for me to go. Um,
Well, it's good
but
that you
yeah,
understand when you're not going to play optimally and you walk. That's better than the alternative.
yeah. So that one sucked. I was just thinking like this. I think this is good though, right? Like the rejam here makes sense because
Yeah.
we want to just make this guy pay
Yes.
the maximum first flush draws, and we don't care if he folds them. So, and this guy's
Mm.
already committed. So, I mean, yeah, if he has pocket tens, he has pocket tens,
Right.
but I mean, it is what it is. And if his pocket tens are probably going to play more aggressively than just call here. This just screamed to me if I have an overpair and I'm not getting away from this. Put the money in.
Hmm.
Let me just
And
make this argument, and I could be wrong. Let's go back to preflop. This might be way too nitty. But let's go back
I
to
think your
preflop. All
preflop
right.
argument is valid, and I think I already know what it is.
Yeah. So let's see the action. 2, 2, 2, 10. All right. Now you got twos multi-way. Now,
Yeah, you're supposed to dump those.
Oh, you're
now,
not wrong.
yeah. Now, if Joey was here, he would say we muck.
Yeah, you're supposed to dump the twos.
But
I should be
you've got to
folding
make a
them
decision.
just to
I
this.
mean,
Mm.
you maybe you start at fives here. Maybe you
Hmm.
start at sixes, and you can muck the twos. There's an argument for mucking the twos here.
Oh
And
yeah.
you got to be a pip above 1, 2, 3 people, right?
You want to understand. You've got so the twos probably from sixes down, maybe fives down. You've got to think about reverse implied here. So
Okay.
then I think we probably begin to consider what our stack depth is, and you're playing essentially 150 bigs deep. Yeah, I think you begin to think about mucking these.
Well, I mean, if you
So
think logically, the first guy opens twos, the second guy will be threes, the third guy will be fours, fourth guy will be fives, and
I could be wrong. I mean,
six.
I could be just like being a nit here. What do you think, Scotty and Mike?
I think theoretically I'm absolutely supposed to fold here.
Yeah.
Frankly, I think
In Go ahead.
I was gonna say live. I don't know that you can ever really fold here because more often than not, you're stacking somebody. It's set over set is rare enough. Yeah, like
No,
when it
he's talking
happens
about
here.
folding pre-flop. This is a
Yeah,
pre-flop.
I get that. And I'm making the justification for calling here and peeling and seeing the flop.
Because
Set over set happens so infrequently that I mean, more often than not, you're dragging of the big pot here.
Okay. So
I
see the
mean,
one
it
thing that's
happens.
beautiful, the one thing that's beautiful about twos though is that you're always going to make bottom set. And bottom set is very good for value because
You're
they're
unblocked.
all you unblock all of the stronger pairs.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's
I
one
might
reason I
be
love to
thinking
play
pretty nitty
twos.
here. But
Okay,
there is I think one thing to think about is the deeper you are, the less you want to set mine with probably below sixes because your reverse implied are significantly more.
I think it's valid. I think part of my game too just needs to be tightening up a little bit.
so let's put some numbers on
So
this for a
I mean, at
second.
150, I think calling is fine. I think Andy's right, but at one point, I think you want to think about how significant your reverse implied odds are here.
Right. So let's
The
talk
other
about it.
thing,
Let's talk about that with numbers real quick. It was so when Andy said most of the time.
Can't hear you, Scotty.
Oh, you can't hear me. Okay. Tell me when you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
You
yep,
can hear you now.
Okay, so that's why you couldn't hear me. Okay. Um, so when Andy said, well, most of the time, you're scooping the big pot. No, most of the time you're folding, right? Most of the time you
that's
miss.
true.
When
We know
you
that. And that
play
was
a big pot.
right. No, I gotcha. So this is the thing. So you get to, so you get to hit your set around one out of eight, around 12% of the time, something like that, right? That's about
Yeah.
the right number. And the
Mhm.
amount of times that you get, and so when you don't hit your set, you fold it, all right? So now we're going to look at the percentage of times when you hit your set, you end up set over set. It's going to be around 1 in 8.
1 in 8, is that high?
Yeah.
Well,
When
if
they have a
other
pocket pair,
people,
when
yeah,
they
if
have a
you have
pocket
other
pair,
people, shit, yeah.
they have the same
Also
one in
lose
eight as
their
you.
set.
Right. Now they have to have now they have to have a pair to be able for this to happen. So if they're all on ace king, it can't happen. But there are two other cards for it to happen with, and the more players in, the more likely that one of them has a pair. So just throwing out just as wide numbers. Now, 1 in 8 isn't that often, right? But I just wanted to say when you're playing for the big pot 1 in 8, 1 out of 8 times, and of those that you get to play the big pot, 1 out of 8, you're going to lose ish to the bigger set when you've got these tiny pairs. So that's just some numbers on it. And there was a lot of hand waving about them having to have the pair and how many other ones and do they interfere with each other, things like that. So there was some hand waving there, I admit. Um, Once you see this flop, I think you have to go broke. I think that's clear.
Yes.
I don't think you get to get away from this once you hit
Yeah.
this flop.
Mhm.
All right. Um, and I personally don't draw the distinction between deuces, threes, and fours in these situations. I don't worry about the set over set thing, and the solver does.
Mm.
You'll see situations where the solver calls with its implied odds down to fours and fives, but doesn't do the twos and threes, and you go, it's the same fucking hand. Why do you care? And this is why.
So
So it does
the
exist.
other thing too that I will say about this is that when he ISO, I mean, technically this ISO size, I don't even think by the book is bad, but it's not the size I would ever use with two limps in front of me. Um, when he uses a real size, like I'd ISO 2025 here, I'm folding this all day. When he goes to 10, and then we get a call in between, I am more inclined to call, which I don't know if it's valid. I mean, I like the
Yeah.
fact that this guy's deeper here than this guy is. So now I get another customer here. And then once we both call, it's going to bring in one of these players, most likely.
It is
So
definitely valid.
it
Yeah,
makes
I
it
mean,
more.
Absolutely. What your thought process is absolutely correct there. That
I
I
is.
mean, if he
reckon.
goes 2025 and folding, which is yeah,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
fine with me. But when he goes 10 and we get a call in between, and now we have two behind, they're likely going to call. I want to call a lot more and get stacked by threes.
Mhm. Yeah.
I reckon what you do want to, the one takeaway I'm thinking about here is you really want to think about what reverse implied are. It's hard to do
Yeah.
multi-way live like this because you've got four stacks, you've got a ballpark, you're making your decision. But the takeaway I'm having here is that you really want to think about how deep you are and how much the deeper you are, the more reverse implied you had with this hand class.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think that there needs to be. I still don't dislike this call. I think that in situations that I just described of a actual ISO size and I'm just next to act, I'm gonna be out of position and there's no guarantee I'm getting any calls behind. I like a fold a lot more. I like a call a lot more when he ISOs to a small size like this and we get a call in between. Um,
In
just
your
it,
game, in your game, the two people who are yet to call, neither of them is going to be limp
No,
re-raising, right? Right.
no, they're not limp raising. I
They
mean,
don't limp.
I had
Yeah,
seen the way that they both
even
play. They
better.
both play their good hands aggressively. Like this guy had,
Hmm.
I watched him play queens and kings before he three bet them pre-flop and then basically just jam the flop. It was a complete donkey
Right.
jam. But,
Yeah.
they all say, well, I don't want to give you a chance to catch up. I'm like,
Right. Right.
that's the way
Yes,
a
he did.
lot of them play their strong hands is by basically I just want to take it down.
Yep. There's
But
enough
yeah,
money in the pot already. Okay.
yeah. So, oh, here we go. I think this is my biggest donkey hand of the night. Um, so I squeeze here. It's kind of a squeeze. I want to get heads up. I've played with this guy. Actually, I've never played with him, but I've seen him there a lot.
Hmm.
He seems like a thinking player, and I will say the rest later on. So get an absolute shit flop. I was
Oh,
pretty
no.
much just gonna
Absolutely. You
fold
should just
here.
be, yeah, you should just be mucking.
Yeah.
Remove
So
any temptation.
okay, so this is a terribly. I'm at the point right now. Where am I at in this session? I just got cooler. I probably should have left, or I should have at least gone outside for like 20 minutes. And I'm frustrated and I'm also angry because I have gotten some value hands just can't get called and then the other half of my value hands just got coolered over and over again.
Hmm.
So I'm pretty pissed off at this point and I'm just like dying to get some value. So this is a terrible thought process and an awful way to think about the game. I hate it. And so I go smaller here than I would normally ever go.
This is
And I
normally an
think
overbet. This is normally an overbet or check flop for you.
In a three bet pot, I wouldn't go over bet. I would go to 45 or 50 most
Okay.
likely is what I
Okay.
think is best. I go
Yeah.
tiny, which is the other opposite side of the strategy of just going small here to get them to
Right.
raise, which um I don't despise this because as much as I don't usually think a ton about blockers, he does not have a lot of continues here.
Hmm.
Um that I'm holding an ace and a queen, and yeah, he's got some gutters and he's back with backdoor draws. That's basically it. He doesn't have a ton of shit that can really call me. Is part of my reasoning here, which I don't think is invalid.
Hmm.
Um, but against
But he
those
did raise.
hands, yeah. So he should be weighted more towards hands that are, hands that connect with this board in some way. Is
Hmm.
also something that should be going through my head. So I think I should just continue with a normal bigger bet or check here, and I'm going to bigger bet every time with this hand, because my players won't adjust or figure anything out there. So I put 20 in, which so what I think I should do here is I think I should be going 45 here, and say he calls. So he
Yep.
calls now. And now this comes in, and this is this is what I hate is normally when I'm playing good and I'm thinking right is what I would be doing here is okay. So what does he call me here? He's got ace X, he's got queen X. We're not going to get a lot more value from queen X. He's got draws with gutters that probably aren't going to call much more. And then we have his gut shot plus backdoor draw and his pair plus backdoor draw that just improved to a now a club draw that are inelastic. So we should be going massive here, is what I would be thinking normally if I was thinking
Yeah.
right. I
Yeah.
don't do that.
Ooh.
All right. Now let's see what. Let's see. But what SPR does this set up for you? When he calls, he's going to have 1A. So this not great play is not as bad as you think. But I agree with you. You
Yeah,
should be going bigger. All right. So let's see what
yeah.
happens.
He
So he
calls.
calls, right?
Okay, now
And
we'll
now
add
at
in the
least. Oh.
okay. So we'll go into what we talked about prior of one thing I do know about him and that I should be thinking about here is that I have seen him raise his strongest hands or go for a check raise on the river and not come out and lead
Hmm.
rivers when he makes his hand. So I just not thinking clearly this day. I played very poorly that day. It was not a
Hmm.
good day. Um, So he checks, and see, this is why I hate this. So on if I play this the way I want to, what I do here is now I go, let's say I go 45 here, we got 90, we
Mm,
got 170 in the middle. If we got 170 in the middle, I'm probably just gonna jam this turn, which is fine.
hmm
Um, but or let's say we're deeper than that, and we for whatever reason I go 170, and now we have 170 in the middle. I'm probably gonna go 200. Say
Yeah.
he's got another 200 behind. Now on this river, when this river comes in, I'm gonna go stupidly small because I want him to raise off his flushes still. And when he raises on this river, I'm folding, which is perfectly fine. But instead, I'm
hmm
in the situation where, okay, let's target his ace X that got here. And let's not target any of his misdraws. I'm like, oh, what's the opportunity he had? Backdoor flush, it's possible, but his most likely holdings that get here are ace X, is what I would think, is what I did think. So um I'm like, okay, let's target that. I go 95. He jams, and I make the I don't want to be beat call. And I do.
I don't want it to be true call.
Yep. And I lose. He's got king 10 of clubs. This is the exact hand that I would be normally, if I was thinking clearly, that I would be targeting the whole way. And then on the river, I would go super tiny to get to raise and then fold to whenever it raises.
Now, one
Why
question
is it
on that
worth it
super tiny.
going?
Yeah. Yeah. Why not just check behind?
Yeah,
What
just check behind and
is the
realize your
$20?
equity.
Is the $20 worth it? Because you know he never check raises you with a bluff. And so, therefore you can safely put in the $20.
On the river,
Yeah. As opposed to checking
because
behind.
I still want to get value from his aces that aren't going to fold yet.
Okay. So that's what you're saying. You're
And
saying
I think
it's
that's
worth
valid.
it's worth 30, $40 to me to get it. The 30, $40 I get to an ace is fine for me because when I get raised and lose that
I'm
$40,
beat. Yeah.
I never lose the other $195 because I already had lost that because I'm
Yes.
always beat.
But
Okay.
yeah, if I played this the way that I would normally play, if I was thinking clearly, it would have been a two street game where
Yeah.
I raise the flop, I go big bet or check on the flop or some big bet, and then to turn we're basically at close to a one SPR and I just jam. And
Right. And he
he
calls
either
or
pays to
not.
see it and I lose, and or he doesn't pay and I don't lose. But either way, I don't think
Right.
that like the way it's structured out, the only really terrible spot is the river that I just shouldn't be
hmm
calling there, and the size I used is awful. But I think that otherwise, it's technically not that bad, but the process was bad. Not It wasn't because I played it good, it was because I wasn't thinking right. And normally this would have been I would almost any other time I'm playing two streets here, and this is getting in on the turn.
Right. Now, let's go to one last thing on this hand before moving on. On the river, when you decide you're going to bet and target an ace, what size does an ace call on this river? Gi- Given the
Not
sizing you
90,
gave it.
probably not 95 after the flush comes in. I mean, um,
Does an ace call? Does an ace call 170? I think it might.
the only thing that made me go 95 and slightly bigger was the fact that it's a backdoor flush, and if that the players are going to be less scared of backdoor flushes here.
Oh, so
So
you think without the you think that um without the you think without the flush an ace,
I think an ace I can get all of it from.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think with the flush, it may start to scare off some aces. So that's kind of the reasoning for the sizing. I mean, I think that the if I played
We
it completely wrong the entire way, my thought process here is fine, I think. But
yeah.
I just think
We
that I got to a bad thought process because I didn't play the first two streets correctly.
if you
So
had
the one
queen
way to
if
also on river, the one way to prepare yourself for a fold is when you value bet, and I think I would value bet here too, frankly. This hand is too strong probably to check back. You
Yeah,
just mentally say to yourself, if he check raise
raises or fold.
shoves, it's the most underbluff spot in poker next
I
to a
mean,
turn check raise shove, and I need to fold.
it's
right,
never a bluff
right.
because
It's the most
I've
underbluff
applied
spot in
only
poker,
aggression for three streets and now I'm getting
s-
check raised. This is never a
especially with
bluff.
the ace of clubs on board.
Yep.
It's the most
Yeah.
underbluff spot in poker.
Well, I think a
So
better
you
way for me
just,
to
I
do
mean, you
it
just
here
mentally
is to
prepare
think,
yourself for it. I mean, you just say, okay, I need a value bet here, but I know what I need to do if he shoves.
I
I'm going
think
to fold to a raise, and then you remind yourself that you're the best player in the world, and that
And
your
then you
decision was the
say,
right one.
fold of a lion.
Yeah.
I think a process for me which should be also that when I get here, it should be what does he do this with? It's never an ace. I don't beat value.
Hmm.
I'm simply bluff catching, and this is never a bluff.
Yeah, yeah, it's almost on a bus spot in poker. So I
Like,
mean, I would value bet here, and then the pot odds become ridiculous, and you get yourself to a call.
I mean,
Then it
That's
just
how you know you
sucks. I
shouldn't have
mean, this
bet.
is a shitty river,
yeah, it sucks.
but I think you
But
need to value bet. This is too far up, but you need to understand you're going to fold.
I mean, I also just hate this because I'm sitting here and I'm playing against his specific hand and it misses. This is awful. The whole way is terrible because when his specific hand misses, who knows? He folds to the big size on the flop with just a gutter. But we get the call here. Now he's inelastic on a turn and we jam. Now we get max value from that hand when it misses, and then now
Yeah.
we only get value owned on the river whenever
Yep.
when we do it like this. So it's just the process was bad. That's what makes me upset about it. Is
Well,
I mean, I
you're
don't care that I got
also getting
crushed. It's
value from a lot of ace exits here. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, but those other sizes all got the value from that ace X. The other sizes are better.
okay, all right,
Hmm.
fair enough.
I think that these two streets are terrible.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I played it bad. It is what it is. And got to be upset for one night and then move on.
Okay. Nice. All right. Larry, what you got?
All right, I will show some hands. I don't have many hands. I think there's some other people with hands too, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I got hands.
All right. I got two hands I am not proud of, and then I've
All right.
got one hand I think I played well.
Excellent.
Let's start with this hand.
Hey, those are always fun ones.
So we're gonna
Everyone
open
type in
here.
the based on how Larry plays his hand, everyone type in the chat what specific drug you think our hero is on. All right, I'm ready.
So we have to wait to see their hand, or can we just go
Yeah.
now?
No, no, no. Wait to see the hand. Wait to see the hand.
You need some empirical
All right.
evidence.
All right.
Do
So
we
if one
though?
player on a short stack
Right.
here does the mid click, which results in a flat and a small bind. What do you guys think our options are here?
Oh, ugh. I I think you have to call with your easily dominated hand because it's $10 more, but you're out of position against the most likely person. It's just terrible. If he bets the right size, you get to fold. When he does this, the exploit is you get to see hands you shouldn't need to see. I guess you call. I hate it.
Well, we can
I mean, you
call,
can fold it. You can fold. You can
and we
still
can
fold.
fold,
You can
The
still
reason we're
fold
gonna
but
do
I
that
think
is
there's a third option with this hand class.
for betting.
Yeah, I think this falls to a four bet bluff because I think it possesses some qualities. I mean, if we look, this hand sometimes in some positions is four bet bluffing. It's hard to know what you're supposed to do here because this is brain solving, right? But I think like our four bet bluffs are going to be like ace queen off. I think king queen off falls in. Ace five suited probably falls in, but this has good blocker properties. Blah blah blah. I don't know if this is the best hand. I mean,
I
I
don't
don't
think
find many four bet bluffs live. I don't know. I was reacting to a short stack, which reduces our kind of our risk factor and also his small size.
what does a small three bet mean? We saw it a bunch. It means we didn't see that it wasn't always nutted. It wasn't always aces trying to keep you in. We did see that. We saw it made less. We saw it was a bad idea to do because it made less money, and that it was pushed towards the higher part of their range. Not that it was always aces, but the higher part of their range. So with that in mind, I think your four bet bluff is not well advised here.
All right, that's fair. Question becomes,
Okay.
what are our four bet bluffs though? And I'm not sure. Let's just look at it real quick.
This is going to be though against the
probably
full three
none.
bet range.
Say it
This is
You're
again.
going to
not
be
going to have
against a GTO 3-bet range and sizing, not
right,
a
and
fun
there will never
fish
be
at 1-2.
right, and there will never be a call from the big blind
All
there.
right, we'll skip
But
it then.
okay,
I
yeah,
think that this is. I think we've got some. I,
all right.
I mean,
Let's see what you did.
yeah. So I don't know if this falls in. Maybe this is stupid. Maybe this 3-bet range is just too linear.
Okay, does he go
So
for
It
it?
is
I
far
go
too
for it.
linear.
Say it again.
His 3-bet range is far too linear. It's 1-2.
All right.
And you're
So you're probably right. And then we get this bluff, and then look at our SPR.
exactly. You just have to,
Our SPR now is ridiculous.
yeah,
So what do we do here?
you jam.
Trying fold.
No, I mean,
So we're repping aces and kings, right? And
yeah,
queens.
and we're trying to get him to fold ace queen
And we're trying to get him to fold ace queen,
and ace
ace
jack.
jack suited. So we do jam. He snap calls.
Right?
Look at what the fun player had. Jack 10 off, calling a 4-bet.
Yeah.
He is a fun player.
Right.
So I don't think I hate my 4-bet bluff against a player like this, but just being results oriented. But maybe we don't even need to have 4-bet bluffs. I mean, this is so fucking stupid. It's hard to comprehend. This isn't even a call pre. But
I mean, I
yeah,
don't have a 4-bet bluff unless they're telling me that they're 3-betting with shit hands.
well, this guy's clearly 3-betting with shit hands, but he doesn't care. He's still calling. So I don't know. I don't know if I hate it. I think if a player is showing up with this kind of hand, but if he's sticky, if he's just not going to fold, then we probably become very linear with our 4-bet bluffs.
Right. Now your 4-bet size was normal without the other $20 in it. Right?
Yeah, this is definitely.
You went 3x, you went 3x with your 4-bet size, which is fine out of position, but that extra $20 in there makes it feel small to me.
Well, yeah, but then do we adjust to his stack size a little
Right,
bit?
that's what I'm saying. So now your 4-bet size, so if your 4-bet size okay, let's just look at it another way. If your 4-bet size goes to 65, given their stack sizes, you jam.
Yeah, I think jamming is fine.
That's the bigger answer
I mean, I'm
is
really
you
at the
cross
limit. So 50, this is really, I mean, I'm making him pot committed is what I'm doing here.
yeah.
What I can't decide is if they're I think the adjustment when they show up with just really dumb hands like this,
Mhm.
I don't think we get to expand our 4-bet range. I think we become linear if they're just not going to fold. I mean, our 4-bet bluffs are constructed to generate folds when we're blocking the top of their 3-bet range, and so we just become very linear with our 4-bets. Is that
Right.
am I
100%.
right in this adjustment against a player who doesn't have a fold button free here?
Yes.
Yes. Um, I personally, I pretty much never 4-bet polar in small stakes. It's just for the occasional times that you have players that it is used. It's never needed. Like
Yeah,
they're
this might
just,
be a little fancy play syndrome. I think I just
oh, that's for sure FPS.
okay. Well, okay. I mean, in theory we have 4-bet bluffs, but I
Yeah,
mean
but
we
your
don't have
4-bet,
In
to.
but
theory,
when
We
we
you're
can
do,
say that we
but
don't need to.
but when
in
you're
theory,
linear as
absolutely, we
hell,
have 4-bet bluffs. The problem is, like we talked about with Brian, most of the players at 1-2, 1-3 can't spell GTO. So, um,
Yeah, this
it
is
just
really
but remember, sometimes your 4-bet bluff is ace king. That is a bluff.
right.
Because you want him to fold pocket nines when you have ace king.
okay.
So when you are linear as fuck, your bluffs are the lowest parts of your linear range,
Okay, that's
and
fair.
that's okay too.
I think we probably then side call here.
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, I hate your guts, but I
Yeah,
have to call him." That's
yeah,
size.
you fold. Yeah, you normally fold to this three bet easily, except because of its size. You side call because the other guy is in there. It's kind of worse, kind of better. Um, and you put in
I,
the 10, and then on the flop you fold.
yeah, I kind of liked it because I wanted this guy's capped in small blind, and yeah, I think this is probably just side call. It just feels
Yeah.
stupid taking this hand multi-way, but we really want to generate folds, and if people are
Yeah,
going to call with Jack 10
yeah.
off, yeah, then it's probably just a side call. Okay, that was hand one. Hand two, I think this is. Don't remember if this is a hand I.
Solver special. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
All right, we'll do the solver special.
Let's
So
do
this is a
it.
regular. He has. Oh yeah, this is a hand I'm not sure about. He has. So he's got some bluffs in him. Let me just put it that way.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna. We get to four bet this. I three bet this hand. So I'm gonna.
Absolutely.
We're pretty
Would you-
deep here. We're about 200 big blinds
Yep.
deep.
So you go extra big with your three bet.
175. So I'm gonna go a little
Okay.
bigger.
Okay.
He calls. This is where it gets interesting.
That's okay. He's
You have
allowed
a
to call
monotone flop, but we
sometimes.
flop two pair. I think generally on a monotone flop and three bet pot, we're betting quite often and small.
Yep.
So I do that. I bet about a third, which is I think I'm not gonna go much smaller than a third.
Sure.
Lie.
I'm less afraid of his slightly less afraid of the flush because it's the ace that's out there. Not totally unafraid of it, but he called with more of a suited aces than he did of a suited kings. So that's great.
Yeah. So and then I get a clip back. So we're like, okay, well, what is this range? Well, he is gonna have some, I think he's good enough to have some naked king X club.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I think we like that there's only one combo of fives remaining.
Yep.
He could easily have sevens here.
Hmm.
Would also
So we're gonna
have, does he ever have ace king off with the king of clubs is probably highly represented
yeah, that's true.
because these players, so many players just will not four bet ace king.
Right.
I mean, shit, most of them don't even three bet it. So even regs in small stakes are rarely four betting ace king.
Agreed.
All right.
So
So
he
we
he could
call.
very easily have ace king with the king of clubs here.
Don't even three that ace king.
Yeah.
Let's also okay, so we call.
It's also a click back.
He also now uses a small size here,
All right.
about a third. We're certainly not folding.
I was considering raising.
Oh,
On the
I think
turn.
that is a
I
terrible
think
card.
I was
When he takes
considering
that
raising
like
on the
little
turn.
tiny size, I would like to raise.
Yeah.
and now he shoves. What do now do we now have a value beater or do we have
Bluff catcher.
a bluff
I think it's
catcher?
a bluff catcher.
Turned
Bluff
into a
catcher.
bluff catcher.
So our two pair are now a bluff catcher.
Yes.
So we don't think he's taking this line with ace queen, ace jack, with the queen of clubs, jack of clubs. So we have a pure bluff catcher.
We do.
Yeah,
And then we could come to I think we all can come to the conclusion that the triple barrel is a under bluff line.
The check
extremely
raise.
under bluff line.
The check raised through triple barrel, not just the triple barrel.
All right. So then I do,
Especially, I mean, at least I thought that ace king with the king of clubs was so well represented in his range, and now it's the king. I think that's a really, really bad card for us.
so I do hero fold.
Mhm.
Did you
Now,
get
the
a
one
reveal?
thing that I found interesting here that
Good
made me
fold.
think I was good fold. Is that
Good
Is that
fold
the-
because you decided because you went with your analysis because because you made the fold knowing you needed to make the fold.
yeah,
That's what was good.
yeah, under bluff line is what
Yeah.
I conclusion I came to. However, the one thing that now, in retrospect, give me question is he's using the Brazilian technique here in
He
some
is.
ways.
He stayed small. but
Small check raise, minimum min click back, right? And then small turn.
mhm,
And now he's set up, he's a good player, right? He set up an SPR of 1.
mhm.
So he's applied the minimum amount of pressure that looks reasonable without getting ridiculous on flop and turn, knowing this would leave him with a pot size bet. It's actually less than pot because he covered me, but boom. Feels really, I think his sizing is really nicely constructed for a bluff.
Okay. Do you think his bluff has a club in it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What club do you think it is most likely?
I think it's the king clubs.
Right? Okay. We
Mm.
think it's the king of clubs most likely. And when
Even
he
even on the
bets
river,
it,
you still think it's
no,
the
no,
king
no,
of clubs?
no, no, we're not done. We're not done. It's the king of clubs and he has another card in his hand. What card goes with the king of clubs that gets here? Remember, you three bet him pre-flop.
Yeah,
Ace,
I think he's
ace,
got some
king,
ace
and
king here
ace, king, and king, queen. Now,
and king
when
queen.
he when he
We
has
beat
king,
the king
queen,
queen. We lose to the ace king. Yeah,
right? When he has the king, queen, do you think now that he has this amount of showdown value, do you think he makes the bluff?
that is an excellent question, and I am not so sure.
Right. That's what I meant which was, um, I just wanted to get to that point was does the king without does the does the naked king of clubs where he just hits a king now decide that it needs to do this and try to push you off an ace? I don't know. Some people
Yeah,
don't.
yeah. I think Andy, you're right. I think ace king is in this range.
Yeah.
All right. So we're in agreement. This is a fault of the line, right? This is not
Yeah. Yeah.
nitty as fuck.
Right. And
Mhm.
the
I
only
mean,
thing what
I think we are classified as a pure bluff catcher. We're not beating
right.
value here.
But on the
Um,
turn when he bet 50,
Yeah, there is, I think,
I
a
let's look at
potential.
on the turn, do we think that that he wanted to only pay 50? Or do we think he has a flush that he wants to make sure you call? So his check raise here makes sure you call with range. This makes sure you call with range, but only costs him 50.
Yeah, that's hard to know here.
Yeah, that's a blocking bet.
Yeah. But
Yeah, do they
if he
choose
has
a
a
block bet here? I mean, you would choose a block bet here sometimes with the nuts, right? So like king queen
yeah,
club, king jack club,
king 10 of clubs, yeah,
king
you want
10
to make sure
club,
you get. And then on the river you go, okay, I believe you have the ace. I do
What about
believe you have
ace
an ace now.
queen?
ace queen. I don't think ace queen plays this. Ace queen with the queen of clubs.
Yeah, I mean, with yeah, probably. I think I feel
He
like
doesn't
it's
yeah.
more likely that they have the.
I
I think
think the
it's
ace
less likely that
queen.
they have the queen of clubs whenever they go small on the turn.
I think the ace queen without the queen of clubs here is a little too mergy for a good player.
I think ace king on the river is thin for him to bet.
Yeah,
That's
me
what I'm
He's
neither.
thinking. I
got
was
the
saying like if we're gonna classify, there's only one hand that should be of value would be ace queen, and he probably doesn't do this with ace queen.
Yeah, ace queen. Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just a good fold. I just really liked his sizing too. I thought he
right.
really constructed good sizing.
Okay.
I
We
mean,
all
So let,
and I'm not using it. Like I'm not, this is very non-solver
mhm,
sizing, right? This click back, small bet on turn, but in retrospect, I liked it.
right. Do we all believe that he can have a lot of flushes in this line exactly? Forget about the ace kings, but that he had that this line makes total sense for a flush.
I think it makes total sense for the nut flush.
Yeah, for a king high flush
there's just not too many
and
of
even
them.
queen
That's
high.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think they go
important.
bigger on the turn with the nuts.
Yeah.
Well, why
I
would you
think
go
that
bigger on the turn when you got the nuts?
there's a lot of well, why would you jam the river then?
I think you go
Because
be 70,
by then you
75%.
believe that I've got that Larry has that let's say you have the queen high flush
Hmm.
here. You make these bets on the river. You go, Larry stuck around with a king of clubs, which is calling nothing. Or he has a low, mostly lower flushes. When he has the king the king high flush, you're not folding your queen high, so that's getting
Flush
all
me.
in. So let's get maximum value from an ace and the other flushes. That would be why. I don't claim that that's what they thought, but it is a
Well, that's
reason.
and well, I would think that that's why I also think they go bigger on the turn though, is because all your aces probably still call bigger on the turn, and then you don't have to have a massive bet on the river.
Okay.
Well,
It's going to
yeah,
force
I
out.
think I mean I would use this sizing with the king queen of clubs. I would use this sizing specifically with the king queen of clubs because I'm
The
blocking
best
queen high
thing,
flushes.
yeah, the best you can have is jack high.
Yeah, so I would use this a lot with the nuts with the queen. At king queen clubs, I would use this a lot. But so I like this sizing, and I think I'm okay with my fold, but it made me sad because because the sizing was very reflective of what we used to call in this group Brazilian sizing.
Right.
But I think it's just underbluffed. I think it's underbluffed,
Yeah.
so we can overfold.
Can we have a small size that is still polar? So this raise here, right? I mean, we always kind of think of
Yeah,
polar sizing being large.
Well,
But in this particular case, like this raise, even though it's a min click, is a is a polar bet, right?
Yeah.
He's saying he has a flush or at least two pair. Do
yeah.
you
He's
think, I
saying it is the
mean,
top of his
maybe
range.
ace king is like the bottom of the range. Does he do this with ace queen after you three bet pre-flop and he calls and
I
you
think
see
only with
bet?
the queen of clubs.
I think that
Yeah,
this is, I agree with Mike, but I think that this does scream a lot of, I mean, you said the guy's a good player.
yeah, he is. He's a regular.
I mean,
He's a good player
even the
who applies
regular,
a lot of pressure.
even the regular doesn't call a three bet with ace king to hit top pair, top kicker and fold and then overplay it.
Yeah, maybe.
And then big two pair on the river. Question is, did he jam the river with top two after you bet you called him down?
I I mean, I think you can because you got to think at that point with the small check raise that only gets called, and then the small turn bet that again only gets called. That sounds that generally looks a lot like not a top of range hand. You have to think if okay, even if he calls the flop check raise, my opponent called my flop check raise on this mono board. When I bet small on the turn, if he's got the flush, he's going to want to start getting the money in, before the board pairs, before we see a fourth club and, freezes somebody out. Especially if you have one of the bigger clubs, if you have the king or queen of clubs in your hand, you're saying, if they have a flush, they're going to want to raise at some point to prevent the four flush to try and, squeeze value from my flush draws or because obviously if
And
you have the the king of clubs in your hand, they can never have a nut draw. So if they do have a flush, that they don't want to see a fourth club. If we try
Yeah,
and if we try and put ourselves in his shoes,
yeah, maybe. I could see that.
I think it was probably pocket kings with a king of clubs.
He wouldn't four bet.
Ruben.
Hmm?
He wouldn't four bet
You probably four
Maybe.
pocket
bet.
king.
Most good regs are going to four bet pocket kings. They
Yeah.
know that's a four bet.
and they
Three,
probably aren't gonna. They're probably
three,
not check raising that flop.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not check
Um,
raising the flop with pocket kings here.
You don't think so?
I
No.
think
Or I
I think
wouldn't.
it comes down
I
to
don't know
some
how
kind
other
of
people play.
What
I
do
I
think it
don't know
comes down
either,
to some
but
kind of combo draw with I think it might be I mean to me it screams combo draw.
check you writing any min clicks?
All
Any
right.
10 comes
So
out?
one of the combo
but
draws
what?
comes in on the river.
Why would you min click if you want to generate the most amount of fold equity? I would never min click for my check raise.
Right. What are you min clicking for?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm
The
saying.
min
So I
click
wouldn't
felt
do
like he
the
was trying to
king.
keep you in.
That's
Yeah, the
val.
min
That
click.
seems like value to me. But the question is, do I
Mhm.
overvalue an ace king? A lot of the times, from what I've seen, a lot of the time this is like ace king with the king of clubs, or ace king
Yeah.
without even the king of clubs. But I have top pair. I don't want another club to come
To
out.
me,
Let's
looking
Yeah.
at
push
this
them
And
hand
away.
then
screams.
he blocking bet. He does a blocking bet on the turn. Yeah. It sounds like what he was just saying, just a weaker top end range is why you min click it. And then you block bet on the turn, and then something happened on the river to make him want to pop.
Yeah, I mean, because I was thinking, I was like, the only reason I said anything about ace queen is because when I
Mm,
was sitting here and he said, is this a pure bluff catcher or do we beat value? And value, the only thing possible would be ace queen, and ace queen probably doesn't do this,
doesn't play.
especially when 90% of the time after you get four bet or after you get three bet, they're thinking ace king, ace king, ace king. So they're thinking, oh, this guy is ace king or he has pocket aces. So in that situation, ace queen's never jamming this river.
Yeah,
Mhm.
ace
So he's
king
got
with
ace king or better.
yeah, ace king with a king of clubs would have repopped and then
Yeah.
blocking bet and then shoves on you with two
I
pair.
even think without the king of clubs is possible because of the way because they flop top pair top kicker, they think they have the best hand, they don't want to see another club. Let's raise it. Okay, another club didn't come, we put 50 in, but now we're kind of scared since he called our bet that he might have a flush, and now we just made two pair on the river. He never raised me, let's jam it all in.
Yeah, and we get it. Yeah, we're targeting an ace there when we jam all in.
Hmm.
I think the other hand that shows up here a lot that we haven't really talked about is a hand like Queen Jack with the Queen of Clubs.
Yeah,
That's
that's
also
in
a
there.
possibility.
Yep.
That
The
There's
I
sevens are
think,
also in there.
yep, set of
Yeah.
sevens are. I think it's a good fold, Larry. I think he has way more value than bluffs by the time we get to the river.
Yeah, okay.
Larry, this was the fold of a lion.
It's the
fold of
fold
a
of a
lion.
lion. All right. One last hand for me, and then I'll pass it on to someone else.
Mhm.
Um, okay, we're opening queen 10. We
Mhm.
get two flats.
Oh,
And
oh,
we've got
I know how to
now.
play
Oh, I
this.
like this hand. I like the way I played this hand. So checks to me.
Mhm.
I think this is a clear check.
Yay.
I
We all agree
agree.
on that.
I love the check.
Betting here is essentially turning our second pair into bluff that is mergy as shit.
I think
I
so.
think we check here, they're going to expose themselves on the. Oh, we're gonna,
Mhm.
either unknown is going to expose himself, or
Yep.
and if it checks through, they're gonna big blind's going to expose himself on the turn.
Nope.
No,
Queen
queen
10
ten's
suited.
not
Queen 10
loose.
suited in the low jack is absolutely standard.
For 5x?
Yeah. Oh, for five. Well, for 5x. No, I didn't think
It's
It's
a
about
little
that.
loose at 5x.
probably
I,
cuspy.
but
Yeah.
maybe
Well,
not a chippy V. We'll look.
It's a
We can
1-2
look.
game. 5x is a fairly standard open.
yeah,
Not
Yeah,
yeah,
but
with
you,
checks and
then you
but you
need
changes.
to
still,
adjust
but
you need to adjust your range.
Yeah, you don't. I
but you
don't
should still
apply the
adjust your
same
range.
range. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
5x it might fall out.
Yeah.
I think it might fall out at 5x this
Good
early.
point, Mike.
Um.
Hmm.
So okay, so this is where it gets interesting.
He folds
All
to
right.
nothing.
Yeah, that's weird. He didn't fold to nothing. He folded it
Okay.
after I bet. I now, when it goes check around, I'm now going to exploitatively bet. But
That's
this
okay.
is mergy, right? This is
Yeah.
this is
You're promoting. You're saying you're saying that the cutoff did not check any aces, and the big blind did not check any aces twice. Therefore, your queen is good.
and
That's
our
what you're
queen
saying.
is now up worth a
Yeah.
lot more
Right.
after
That's what you're saying.
after
And
these
I
you're
just
bets.
saying,
I
and you're
just
saying
like it
with
because you're a
two.
kicker.
Yeah, but what are you getting called by?
Yeah, I don't like it because of
There's
the kicker.
Flush
well
draws,
let's look at
double
what's out
flush
here.
draws.
We've got two flush draws. I think mostly flush draws, and then we've got some wheel stuff going on.
You're saying basically, I mean, I feel like you're saying, you feel you have the best hand and you're betting for equity denial.
Mhm.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. So
What
we
size did
bet.
you use?
Like that.
Sorry.
What size did okay, 25 into like so
Yeah,
basically
I
five.
bet big about a B75.
So that's yeah, so I don't know about that size. But okay.
It's quite polar. I
Can
agree.
I just say it's good to have Mike back?
It is
Yay. Welcome back, Mike.
keeping us
Yeah.
on the keeping us on the GTO, Solver
Keeping
Straight
us
and
in
Narrow.
line. I
So
think I've had too
Your
much of an
hand
effect
doesn't
on the
fit, your
group.
hand does not fit. If you describe that size as polar, your hand does not fit into a polar betting range.
no, this is mergy. This is a little
Right.
mergy.
Okay.
But I'm going to use this size sometimes when it goes check, check, check,
The one reason
because
And
I
when the
I
think they're
board,
think
capped, and I think we benefit from a little bit of protection.
yep. And when the board
Yeah.
has two flush draws on it, you pushed yourself up.
And also in theory, yeah, when the board is
Yeah.
this wet, we push it up.
but
Okay.
when the board has two flush draws on it, is he ever folding a flush draw here?
No, he
Depends
didn't
on
try
the
to get into
player.
flush draw.
Yeah. Okay. So we're equity denial, but we're not denying any equity.
Well, we no, we are. I mean, a good player is going to fold some of their. So we're offering what, like 28% here, 30%, and he's 18% to hit. So we're making an exploitative sizing. If he's calling with his flush draws, this is a profitable sizing
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's
and
because we're not
also
offering him a profitable price.
you've
it's
got so
true. Yeah, you get value.
this other guy hasn't folded yet, right? So he's still in the hand.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
when he calls, when this second player calls, he's got to be really strong, knowing that he still has another player here to act. So
That's true.
this is a really strong kind of call.
This is a, this is some kind of nutty draw. This is some kind of nutty draw, or this is
This is a draw,
it,
or he has you beat.
or he's got ace X. Now it gets
Right.
interesting.
What a terrible, terrible
Oh,
card. You
So
run
awful,
so bad,
awful.
Larry.
I am now going to play. I do some FPS stuff here, and I like it. Look at how much stuff bricked.
I respect your check here.
Yeah, I don't hate it.
I
A
totally
lot of
respect
shit
your
bricked,
check.
right? Both flush
Yeah.
draws bricked. The wheel
This
bricked.
Yeah, this makes your hand look so face up.
Broadway
I have an
bricked.
ace that's scared of a queen. Let's check.
I think this is a spot where we get to get fancy.
Or just I stabbed on on the turn because the flop bet checked through.
Then you
Oh, the
call.
question is, do you raise to this size?
The
Yeah,
question is, do we raise?
interesting.
We can shove here, but you have to get called by worse. And I don't know if we get this. What do we get called by that's worse here?
See, this,
When he
I don't,
uses this polar sizing, essentially he's saying he has exactly my hand.
Yeah.
are
Essentially, he's
you,
saying he's got my hand or better.
Call.
He's saying he's got a queen X, or he's saying he's got a slow played eights, because he's essentially saying he's two pair plus, and we are.
oh
It's
man.
hard to find two pair here that we beat. Maybe ace eight, but that's.
Ace eight isn't two pair.
I don't. Yeah, good point. It's kind
No,
of a
ace
set.
eight's two pair, but yeah.
Right. Right.
So it's hard to know what we beat here.
So if the
See, the
only
one
reason
thing
to
that,
it,
the one thing that this is, the only reason I like a check on the turn is because their weak aces check the flop. So when we check the turn, now their weak aces come out and bet, and we get to decide how we want to go from there by their sizing. So when they come out and bet small, we can either decide to try and turn our hand into a bluff when player two calls or player two folds, or we can start to figure out like what we want to do there. Then we bet, I think, yeah, we get value from their flush draws and stuff, but I don't think we can eliminate all their aces, even if they're fully in position after the flop, because their ace four or an ace five or whatever probably don't bet the flop.
Agree. So I think my turn bet was aggro and probably a little merging. I don't think it's necessary. I think if we were to look at this in a GTO world, we would check again with our marginal showdown.
Hmm.
when
It
you
is it
make
is a little aggro in turn, maybe a lot
when you
aggro.
make this bet, when you make the turn bet and you come here and you check, I think that the only reason to check raise this river if you believe this player will call you with an ace.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
I
only reason I like to check on the turn is to
I
define their range a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think this player at this moment, do you think this player is going to call you with an ace
yeah,
when
good
you check
question.
raise?
I
And it's not a good ace. I want to point out. He has a medium ace.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah,
And
I
that
didn't know
leads me
this
to believe that
player.
we
I
would
did
just
not
want to
have.
call here
I'd
more
never
than.
played with this player before, and I know I was playing against pool tendencies here.
Well, that's what makes me
So
like a call here a lot more because when they just call on the turn, they're gonna have a lot of showdown that's not super strong. And whenever you're on the when you check to them though, and they bet, they still have air. but they have
Right.
ace X, queen X. You just get a better definition of their range. And I think when you check the turn, you can raise now the river, but now you get put him in a spot where this is a bluffer value, and we don't really want to jam because there's plenty of value hands that crush us.
Yep.
All right. So
I like the
I
call on
think
river.
Scotty's right. I think
Yeah,
we
just
ask ourselves, is Poole going to call a shove with an ace X given the price? And I don't think this is overly nitty. I decided that just wasn't enough. That there's worse that calls. I don't know if that's nitty though. That might be a little nitty.
I, I like I
If
like
he
the
bets
call.
small, if he bets small, you raise him.
Yeah, I think this size, this overbet is
Hmm.
very polar.
Yeah.
So I
I like the
call,
call, yeah.
and now this is a question about protocol. He then looks at me and doesn't do anything. And then
You
I
say
look at
flip your
him
hand over.
and don't do anything. And I'm like, okay, I know I've won now because you're not
Yeah.
turning your hand over, but
Yeah.
I don't know you. And I want to know how you're playing a little bit. And then so finally, I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting there quietly. And finally, the dealer gets impatient. He says, "One of you fuckers," he doesn't say fucker. Say, "One of
Yeah.
you guys doesn't turn over your hand, I'm going to take it." And so at that point,
Oh, what,
I still do not turn over my hand.
no, you get to just say, I called, he shows. You get to
Yeah,
say that
that's
to the dealer. That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
rule.
that's
Yeah.
that's
If
I
you,
decided just to stay quiet because I know I'm winning now.
yeah,
And so he finally then just sheepishly turns over his bluff.
great, great.
So I like my fancy play. But the question is it fancy play or a reasonable trap?
Absolutely
It's
reasonable.
reasonable. I think it's very
yeah.
reasonable. I love your check
I
on the
mean,
river.
I
Give him
don't
a chance to bluff all his busted draws.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
I
thought
don't
this
like
was
the
a
turn
just
bet, but I think everything else and pre-flop maybe a little questionable, but yeah.
yeah, I think pre-flop was questionable at 5x. If you look at those five, I've been trying to spend more time with those 5x ranges, and we are pretty incredibly tight. All right, that's it for me, guys. I'm gonna pass it
Nice.
back. We don't have that much time left. I'll pass it back and let someone else share some hands.
All
Thanks,
righty.
gentlemen. I appreciate it.
All right. Mike, if Mike's got something, it's up to you. If not, we're on Andy.
No, I
All
don't
right.
have anything new.
Let's go, Andy.
All right. Um, I like some of these hands. I think some of them I was really happy with. I got a few live hands, and then if you need
Mhm.
me to go a little more, I do have some online hands.
Okay. Let's start live.
Okay. So live, I am here on the cutoff with ace six offsuit.
Good fold. Let's see.
Um,
Let's raise it.
okay, so that doesn't
Eight,
happen.
right. A6 offsuit is an excellent fold on the cutoff.
Oh,
Let's see what
it
happens.
100% is. There is a very specific reason why I see a
Yep.
flop with this.
Yep.
As
Let's
you can
see.
see, these two villains right before me, these are very apt
Yep.
names.
Mm-hmm. Let,
So Spazzy
Boo.
Steve,
I do not respect this at all. This is the 6-5 offsuit all over again. Let's play it. You've heard my objection.
Steve raises 2-9.
Mm-hmm.
Dum Dum calls.
Right.
I think these guys are both seeing almost 100% of flops.
All right.
So this is Badass Bruce, who this guy is a
Mm-hmm.
very good player. We will get to see a hand with him in a little, I think,
Right.
next. Um, and none of these players, I don't think any of these players even know you're allowed to three bet. I've played with these three players quite a bit, and I don't think I've ever seen them three bet anything.
Gotcha. All right.
So I say, okay, I could squeeze, but I have a kind of a trashy hand. I don't want to pile in a ton of money because there's 100% chance both of these guys are calling. So let me just peel a flop, see what happens.
Everything about that sentence I agree with, except for the last. So I peel a flop
Yeah.
and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
10 words. I agree with every part of it except the last 10 words.
Goes call. So it's
Okay. Now,
decent,
wait 1 second.
decent.
Now, before you go on, here's my exercise for you. You called. You gave me the reasons to call. I want you to articulate all the reasons to fold this hand. Whether you,
Six offsuit.
okay, that's one. Okay, give me
I
another
have
reason.
no straight draw possibility. Well, no real straight draw possibilities.
Right,
I mean, a four flush to a six is garbage. A four flush to an ace is just way too obvious.
right, right. So A6, those are all the things about A6 offsuit. Okay, what's another reason? I'm gonna put those all in the same reason as it's A6 offsuit. Those are all the things that make it A6 offsuit. What's another reason?
It's very easily dominated, and when a lot of money starts going in, I'm probably behind.
Okay, good. I like that.
Wait, but
What
what
else?
if you flop two pair?
Shut up. What's another reason? What's another reason to fold? What's another reason to fold it?
Um, because I'm supposedly not a fish, and we're pretending we're better than we are this month.
Okay, that's a good. Okay, I'll take that. What's another reason to fold it?
Do I need more of a reason than it's
Yes,
ace
the
six
button, the
offsuit?
button, the button, the button. You don't even have. You're not. The button can call. You're inviting someone in. You're inviting someone
Low jack
into.
-1 raised, even if they're seeing 100% of flops, they probably still have a pretty strong range.
No,
So
they don't.
he raises a lot of hands, and this
Okay.
$9 sizing is pretty much always a trash hand.
Yeah, no. You
Okay.
you
Um,
can easily. You could. I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you that you're ahead of both of them. You're ahead of both of them. I'm just going to give you that. One guy's got king. They don't have. They don't have complete nonsense. One guy has king nine, and the other one has uh, queen 10. That's what they have. But that doesn't matter. There's still another. There's still two more
Mm.
reasons for you to fold
button,
this.
like I
Before,
said, not only do they never three, this guy on the button
right.
is like super, like makes OMCs look
Yeah.
like maniacs. Like
Right.
this guy folds. I've sat
Yeah.
sessions with him where he folded every single. He didn't see a
Right.
flop.
Right. But he is still.
So
But he does call this one so it counts as a reason. Is that you have a guy who you're inviting to call to give position on. It's not the same as inviting in the big blind. You're inviting someone to have
Mike,
position on
that
you,
is number
and
one
that
reason for folding ace six offsuit,
right.
getting
So that
flamed
counts.
in session.
Right. So that counts as another reason, and then there's one last reason, and that is that just mathematically, ace-6 offsuit folds with just two players behind it, with three players behind it. Just worried about what those players can wake up with, whether they three bet you or not, just where they are when they call you. Ace-6 offsuit folds. So those are
I'm
your
never
reasons. All right. So
claiming this was a
so you call.
beautiful. I was
No,
more
go on,
happy
go
with
on. We're ready.
the result and process after the flop.
Right. No, we're
Yes, this
ready.
was
I
not a
just
great
want.
decision,
We know that.
but
We all said that. I just wanted you to say the reasons. Now go on.
okay. So we get this flop.
Great.
Now we get this action. Check. Bet 21, which this
Great.
player, again, I had some good sizing tells on him.
Hmm.
He bets big with a good hand.
Okay.
Dum Dum calls. Now, Dum Dum literally,
He
I
has
think
two
he saw
cards.
every turn.
He has two
He has
cards.
two cards.
Right.
He has two cards. He saw
He has
every
at
turn.
least two
He's
cards. Yeah.
so this call doesn't. So I decide, okay, I'm gonna see what happens. And now I look left. I can tell this dude already is folding.
That's good.
I
Thank you for
got
looking
nothing
left.
off of him whether he's calling or folding what he's doing. But I know for a fact this guy's folding. Just that when the flop came out, he sighed. I heard it and
Yeah, yeah.
had pushed his cards forward. He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
So I don't think a raise is ever a brilliant idea here. I have top pair against two really bad players. I don't think folding is ever. So I flick in the call. And as expected, fold, fold.
Pick all the money in.
Um, he is not calling off with nothing. He'll keep
I'm
betting.
kidding.
Spazzy Steve. I mean, I could have, but
Uh,
okay. So, anyways, to the turn. I mean, not just percentage wise, actual absolute sizing. Spazzy Steve down bets. I mean, it's only
Spazzy
a
Steve
dollar
has a
down bet,
Spazzy Steve has a queen.
but he down bets.
Yeah.
Um, Dum Dum calls.
Right.
At this point, I am 100% positive I have the best hand.
Mhm.
I would have bet everything I own that I have the best hand at this point.
Well, you own 270 chips. That's what you own.
Right. I did not bet those though because I want to keep Spazzy Steve and Dum Dum in the hand.
Okay.
Although I don't think, given what he showed up to the showdown with, I don't think Dum Dum was folding if I
Mhm.
jam. So I call.
Right.
Fairly brickish turn or river.
Right. Now when it
Spazzy
goes
Steve
now
checks.
when it goes check.
And Dum Dum bets what he thinks is a big size.
Right.
Um, and I know he thinks this is a big size because afterwards, he kind of I actually kind of I'm like I tank a little bit. And I've seen him
Nine
bluff when he
seven.
bricks out. Hmm?
9-7.
No, I've seen him bluff when he bricks out.
Yeah.
Or like when somebody shows weakness, he thinks that like he's making a good play. And like so ultimately I think it's either like and he gets super aggressive with draws. So I don't think it's like a Jack 10. I think it's nothing but a queen.
Do you think he
So
bluffs?
I end up
Does he bluff multi-way or heads up or both?
he doesn't know the difference between multi-way and heads up.
He doesn't care. He just throws
He
it out.
don't care.
Okay.
What
Um
is multi-way?
it is multi-way, but
I
so
I
I
think you
know
have to
that. I
call.
mean, he never checks an ace here. This guy, Spazzy
Yeah.
Steve is just never checking an ace here. I played with the guy enough. I know that for a fact. The only one I'm not even concerned, but I'm thinking, could he have a better ace? Could he have? So I flick in the call. Um, and he shows up with Queen three.
Yeah. Yeah.
Queen three.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Why did you beat the
Sure.
nuts? That's crazy.
By the way, just so you know, he doesn't need a better ace than you. You only have an ace. You're chopping with ace deuce, just so you know.
Yes. Um, but
So
okay, and
a better way to put it is there are no worse aces than
better.
yours. That's all I that's what I meant to say.
Right.
But
I decided on that turn on that river,
you have
my
to call.
ace six was a bluff catcher,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
against a player that's been given rope and is capable and will bluff.
right. You absolutely
Um,
I completely agree with your call on the river. That's what I agree with.
kind of standard hand, other than like I was happy with my thought process. I didn't think I really anywhere in the hand had any point to raise anywhere.
No. No.
Um, And I mean, had I done that, it would have just probably gone fold, fold. He might have called a raise
He
on
might
the
have.
turn with the queen because, oh, well, I can get two pair.
That's the best way to think about it.
I like your I like not raising the turn, and I like not raising the river, and I like not folding the river.
If you got here with air, what would you do?
If I got here with air,
Yeah, would you just fold out against these type of players? Do you have any sort of
Right.
fold equity?
You've got to,
I
yeah, we give
don't.
you 10 jack. We give you 10 jack of diamonds. You can get here with 10 jack of diamonds.
I think, I mean, 10 jack of diamonds, probably against these two. I'm considering three betting pre. And if I don't three bet it pre, I'm raising the flop.
I don't think
Okay.
you should three bet it pre because you want to outhand people like this that just have a bunch of bullshit that they're opening, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
But also, I would say, like, I'm asking, like, I think flop is a fine call on the turn when he down bets. Are you going to check? Are you going to raise there? Because I think that's a beautiful play with something like Jack 10.
I think if I don't raise flop when we see that when I see that I could definitely see raising like Jack 10 on the turn. Um but no, if I somehow get here without ever raising with Jack 10, I don't know if I'm going to go ahead and raise here, even though because I know Dum Dum's not very strong.
I'm just
Um
wondering about player because if you know he's not that strong, is
he
he going to lay
calls.
down a queen here? He's calling, though.
He might not. Him and I have mixed it up in some big pots to where like we this is like the third or fourth table I'm on of the day, and we just keep getting bounced around to the same tables.
Got it. All right. Let's see your next hand
So
against him.
okay. Next hand. Oh, is
Oh, Dum Dum's
against
not here. Where's Dum
No,
Dum?
Dum Dum's right there.
Oh, good. Okay,
He is.
hello.
He's just not
Good.
involved in this hand, so I
Okay.
didn't put him in.
Okay.
But we
Sounds
have
good.
Spazzy Steve, and we
Hello, Steve.
foreshadowed to, badass
Right.
Bruce earlier.
Right.
This guy's a good player.
Hmm.
This hand, I'm actually fairly happy with the way I played the hand, other than maybe my sizing on a couple of my sizings.
All right. Let's see what we got.
So I post a small blind, big blind post.
Okay. So far, I agree with your play.
Good play.
Spazzy Steve again with that $9 sizing.
Hmm.
Dum Dum. Bruce. So I kind of, like those ducks here.
Hmm.
I think, hey, I have a small pocket pair. Let's check out a flop and see what happens. I know we're gonna go multi-way, but I can, like, especially with these two in here, I can flop a set and probably win. If I flop a set, I can stack somebody.
Oh,
The better squeeze here, man.
that's what I was gonna say is if we want to isolate
It's a squeeze, man.
Spazzy Steve, I like a squeeze to remove the solid reg
Yeah.
and and play heads up against a player that we have an edge against. I mean, I don't mind a call isn't terrible. Because you get
Yeah,
to, I mean, it's
I
good
don't
for.
hate it. If there was some pre-flop fold equity with Steve and Dum Dum, I would consider a squeeze. But the fact I mean the squeeze here, I'm going to what, 36, 40, I'm going to 60, $65.
Hmm.
And now, they're both calling, so we're already, you
Miserable on the
know,
flop
we're
Yeah, that
out of position,
in a
multi-way
bloated pot.
in a giant
squeezes
pot with pocket threes.
squeezes majorly aggro, but I like it just because I'm confident in playing against bad players heads up.
Who
Um,
opens? Spazzy
Are you
Steve?
confident playing against bad players heads up, out of position, multi-way, in a bloated pot with pocket threes?
Well,
I'm
well,
not.
so
No, that's an
that's
honest
Sure.
question. That's an honest question.
Literally,
that is a good question.
I've seen this guy cold call
mhm.
a dum dum, cold call a three bet pre-flop with king four offsuit. So there's literally zero way to range him once we get to the flop. So he could possibly, every flop can possibly hit his range.
It's true.
And
It
I
is
just, so
really
I,
aggro.
it's super aggro, and heads up, maybe I consider it, but um
Who
Bruce
Which
opened?
is
is,
it?
he's a
The
good
original,
reg.
the original Razor was Spazzy Steve, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
If
And the
he's gonna,
caller is Dum Dum, and the reg is behind.
Waller is Dum Dum and Bruce, who is a good reg.
who has
Uh,
position for the rest of this hand with
the
you
reg is
there?
in
Older guy.
position.
Now Bruce is an older guy who he's more aggressive than an OMC, but he plays fairly face up sometimes. So I don't know.
Okay, I
I
have a
I just
question
didn't
for you,
think this
Andy.
was a good squeeze spot.
I
So,
don't hate calling and trying to
yeah.
flop it. I
So
mean,
I have a question for you, Andy. Here. So
I did the same.
the reason the reason to not call and go for the set mine, you have multiple players in. That's good. Is that it's hard to get all the money in against many players from the small blind when you hit. Now, is Spazzy Steve going to play in such a way that it will be reasonable for you to get all the money in without some ridiculous bet that they have to have two pair better to call? Is he gonna spaz off? Is he gonna continue to spaz off into multiple players? If so, then one of my objections to the call goes away. If not, it's going to be hard for you to realize your full equity with your threes.
So he c bets at almost 100% frequency,
That's good.
and I'm pretty sure his fold button just disappears when he has either top pair or some kind of draw.
Okay, great. Okay, then your call becomes better because the other thing that's going to happen is he's going to c bet. The other two players are going to be trapped after his 100% c bet before you check raise the flop or the turn, depending on how you want to play it when you hit. So, okay.
Dum Dum, I have watched him every single time he's had a flush draw. The
Mhm.
money his goal is to get all the money in the middle on the flop.
Right. Well, he's got two cards to come in 1/3 of a chance. Okay.
Yes, he
Great.
tries. So I really do think like I can
Okay.
play, if I hit a set, I can play a huge pot and I can stack somebody or get
Okay.
stacked, either or.
Okay. So with that in mind, here's my question to the group, and you can post your answer in the chat. Which is when this comes, um, what is your preferred play for yourself here with this hand? Um, and we just need fold, call, or squeeze. Those are them. And if you want to put all of them in, you can put them in the order that you think they're best. Okay.
Sevens, I
Brian,
start considering the squeeze, Larry.
yeah, sevens has got some squeeze to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I haven't changed my mind there. Brian is on G's, whatever that means.
I don't know.
Mike likes fold better.
Yeah.
Brian's
Okay.
on the call side with me because we already saw
Cold,
what happened to his
Yeah,
deuces.
cold calling is
gonna
okay
call.
as long as you've got a major whale in there, then I think it's
All right.
fine.
Okay. Good
I'm
enough.
gonna
All right. Great. All right. Moving on. Excellent.
I like a
Fold.
squeeze from the button
And look
because
at that
Sweet baby
beautiful
there. All
baby
right.
there.
All right.
Anybody guess what I do here?
I'm hoping that you check here not to get raised by Spazzy Steve, but to trap everybody else after
Jack.
Steve's bet. Yeah, I like
And
that.
now if Spazzy Steve was right here, I might have considered bet
Oh
leading.
yeah, that's a good bet. When
But
Spazzy Steve is
check.
last.
Spazzy
Great.
Steve, small
Good.
size. He don't have shit.
Good. Boo. Yay.
So I say, okay, I dig it.
Do you believe he's
I
a
opt for
sizing tell?
Steve has a sizing tell, yes. When
And
he
he'll
has
continue
like
to barrel off?
when he has a good made hand, he bets bigger. And he's a fairly like he understands percentage of pot bet
Hmm.
somewhat. Like he's
Yeah.
not a thinking player, but like he definitely is keeping track of how much is in the pot and is like betting fairly relative.
This is
Um,
great. You are setting yourself up for two reasonable sizes to get all in by the river against their overpairs.
yeah. See, like looking back, it's probably being as you'll see. Like I think maybe I could have gone a little bigger here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I think their draws still call bigger, which makes it easier.
Yeah. Like
But
60.
yeah, I think I would have liked 60 better.
Yeah. I like 60. 60 is great.
But I
This is
don't
okay.
hate this.
I don't hate it.
I don't like my thought, or I don't hate my thought process. I'm happy with
Yeah.
okay, I got what I wanted. I check
Yeah.
raised. And I kind of at least, part of my thought was, if I don't go huge, Steve may stay in with a lot of overcards and any flush. He might, he's going to stay in with any flush draw. He's going to stay in with a lot
Yeah.
of overcards. Um, and so I don't know. I could have gone bigger. I couldn't have. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Let
He
me get.
folds.
Okay.
Bruce calls me.
All right. We're still set up to get this all in.
Yep. And we get the
Donk.
10 of clubs.
Let's think about the donk.
It's not a
We're
donk
gonna go. We're
anymore.
gonna
I
go
just
back to
check
the dunk. We're
raise.
gonna go back to the dunk. We're gonna go back to the
Okay.
dunk at the end. We're gonna play it. That's
Oh, okay.
gonna come back.
All right. We'll
And we're
finish
also
the
gonna
hand and then
talk
go
about.
back to the donk.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we get the 10 of clubs. This is where I don't know if I love my sizing. It was kind of a what the fuck size, right? I go 65.
65 is go back one step just so I can see the pot size. So you're betting half pot here. If you get
Yeah.
called in both places, it's going to be 130.
Steve
There's going to
Steve
be
is out. It's
65
just me
morning.
and Bruce heads up.
Right. It's 269, 181. Geo's a little bigger. So I would be going closer to Geo.
So Bruce he starts to tank for a minute and
Hmm.
he thinks and he's thinking the hand through.
Yeah.
What is
Then he
what does he
oh
call? What does he call? So he calls. This guy's C bet from the button, and then you check raise, and he cold calls
yeah.
again. That should filter pretty strong hands that should be inelastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and I was gonna kind of show his action next and then kind of go through my thought process.
Okay.
Um, so he jams. So I don't like the jam because Bruce is good enough. He could maybe jam here every once in a while. I think his three bet range, his pre-flop squeezing range is nines plus. Um, I think he's capable of flatting pocket sixes and pocket eights on the button when Steve C bets. But after I check raise the flop, I'm thinking once I check raise the flop, he's probably going to raise, three bet with the bigger sets. Um, although he knows I'm capable of check raising bluffs. And I think his overpair, like I think nines plus, he's three betting off pre, squeezing pre. So I don't think he flopped a set of tens. I don't think he has a set. When it goes double call on the flop, he double calls the flop. I really think here that it was either a straight draw or a flush draw. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking through it, and I don't know that he jams a flush draw here. Um, and I said, 9-7 completes, and I think my way through it, and I said out loud, I said, nothing makes sense except for 9-7, and I mucked my threes face up. So I fold, and he showed me his 9-7.
Right.
Hmm.
So I
Right.
was I was more like, I don't know if maybe, and maybe that's where I think maybe being results oriented on the by saying like maybe I should have gone bigger on the flop. Um,
No,
I,
not for
I
that
think if
reason.
you're gonna play a hand that shouldn't be played from small blind, especially with a reg in position, I think it's either a fold or it's a squeeze. Like I don't think you can give the reg position. Even if you're looking just to set mine with lower, I don't think you can do that. Spazzy Steve and the other guy, maybe you can, but you can't give the reg position for cheap. You got to get them
it's
out.
Okay. So let's go back and look at a couple of other beats of this. Nice analysis on the turn. What odds are you being offered on the turn? You need to call
180-ish to
181.
win.
Yeah, he has you covered, right? Let's make sure. Yeah, yeah, right. Well, you're the same.
No, I
Okay,
had him covered. I'm sorry, I had him covered. That
right.
was all in for him.
And it's 181 for you.
I had a lot more. It just I didn't put it in here because
That's fine.
it didn't.
Right. You have to call 181 to win a pot that will be at the time. Um, 560. Okay, so are you getting? Okay, so it looks to me like you're getting something needs something like 23% odds, right? Is that what you're being
Uh,
offered?
So we got how
Well,
much in the pot?
assuming you're already beat, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying on that. This may be the issue here. Okay, so let me steal the screen real quick.
Right. And I do think, I mean, sometimes he might show up with pocket tens, but it was one of those, like, I feel like it's
Okay.
really, um, he's really got a big hand.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
But
way
when it's pocket
behind.
tens, life is terrible. But let's see.
Yeah, you'd
So
rather be
What are you talking
against,
about? You have one out against pocket tens.
right,
yeah,
we got pocket
that's
tens,
what
but
I'm
against the
saying.
nine
I'd
seven.
rather be
You got
against
2%
9-7.
equity.
Yeah, I know. So 180. So 181. Give me the numbers here. You have to call 181. And what was in the pot?
450. That counts as
450.
two.
Right, 450. So the real pot is
Plus my
631. So it's this divided by this. This is your, so yeah, it's 28%. You are 20% to boat up. You have the best hand some of the time, and you are drawing dead some of the time. Now let me stop sharing the screen here with these numbers. Okay, you can start sharing again.
sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I got 23 in my head and it's 28, and the difference between 23 and 28 is a lot. Um, so
Good fold.
against the check raise, does this feel like two pair?
Yeah.
10-8 suited. He jams his 10-8 suited here.
No, I
No,
think it's unlikely that he
doesn't
gets
feel,
here with
doesn't feel.
10-8 often.
Yeah, well, he got it with nine
Abs-
seven. He got it with 9-7, so he has to fold the 10-8 to your check raise.
Dude, 9-7 of
he folds
spades.
10-8 a lot more frequently than he folds 9-7.
Right.
Just because
9-7.
10-8,
Yeah.
because he understands that
Yes.
I
Yeah.
probably either have a set or I have a draw. And
Right.
he knows he's way ahead or way behind against a set with 10-8. But he also knows that if I am on a draw,
Yeah, it's
um,
shitty.
it's a bad spot. Like I said, he's
Right.
a pretty solid player.
Okay.
Um, he's not
Nice.
a dummy.
Okay. So let's go back to the other beats. Good analysis on the river. I mean, on the turn. Excellent. Uh,
Nice fold.
better than
Very
me.
nice.
Yeah. So, so
Like
Larry
against
wanted.
one of these Spazzy Steve or Dum Dum, I probably snap call here.
Okay.
I'm happy to see you make the fold here.
Yeah.
I
So
would
go.
not have made it,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah. So go back to the flop. And Larry wanted
Was
to.
the fold was very player dependent.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
I
Against
don't
some players,
know,
I might make that fold.
and that's what I felt like. His bluff there is ace ten of spades. I
Yeah.
mean that's his bluff that he has.
And it's so weird to play it that way because now that he's hit showdown value and he has these spade draws covered, what is he jamming to try to get to fold that he had
In
that didn't
And
position.
see?
that's why I don't think he plays ace ten of spades that way.
No.
But that's the one bluff I could come up with.
Yeah, that's just such a weird hand to choose to bluff when you don't need to.
Or like a 4-5 of spades. I thought maybe he could have
He
a
could have a
four
four,
five
five of
five
spades.
seven of spades.
Yeah, but why wait till the turn to jam that when you've only got one card to come, when you can do it on the flop and have two cards to come?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of I kept circling back to that. I'm like, it's just the only thing that makes sense here is 9-7.
Yeah, yeah.
And he knows I'm
Also,
either
also pocket tens
yeah, I
a
mean,
little bit,
we'll
but
say
yeah, I'm with you. I'm with
50-50.
you. I'm with you.
He's
I'm with you.
he's three betting off pocket tens.
By
Like
tens.
Bruce is no stranger to three betting.
Yeah,
He has a pretty healthy three betting range.
yeah,
So especially squeezing with Steve and Dum Dum,
yeah, yeah. Makes
when he
sense.
has a value hand like that where he just has both of their ranges crushed, he may be. I know for sure Jacks plus as far as
Yeah,
pairs he's three betting. Tens are
yeah.
kind of on the edge. Like maybe sometimes he calls, sometimes he three bets, but he's never folding tens to the check raise here. So like he does get here with tens, which either
Yeah.
way is
Pocket
even
eights.
worse than 9-7.
Yeah, pocket eights makes sense also in a little bit. But okay, so Larry, you wanted to consider donking here. So first, tell me why you think the donk on the flop would be. What do you like about the donk on the flop?
Yeah, I don't think it's a play we need to pull out often, but
Okay.
I think on occasion we want to pull it out when we're at very top of range. I don't think we do it with anything with very top of range, and we're at top of range. We've got what at this
Okay.
point we've got third nuts.
Okay. What don't
S-
you like about it? Oh, sorry. Was there more you wanted to say that you liked about it?
So Peter stay in school from Fresh Life Poker likes it for the reason that the play that you made, he's obviously calling with his nutted draw, but the play that you made is super strong. Right? It's an underbluff spot and it's extremely strong. And it's the appropriate play, it's a solver approved play. But we know it's also as a group, we know it's underbluffed. But if we turn that on its head, what do we know about a donk? Sure, a donk multi-way is stronger than a donk heads up, but
I
it's
keep
still
spazzy Steven.
perceived as a spazzy, less nutted play.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
for that
no.
reason, I think it has value. It's something I'm experimenting with. I showed you one where I
Hmm.
donked three streets into slow played flatted queens a couple weeks ago and lost my
Yep.
stack. But
Yep.
um, I think it has value on occasion. I can see why he likes it because it kind of it's kind of a meta what this looks like play.
Okay. And what on this and on this particular hand, what argues against it?
So to address that, why I chose not to, because that's something on these when I have a value hand, especially on these small boards, I have been exploring donks more. If it had gone limp, 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 pre-flop, Bruce raises, I call, call,
Yes.
call. I would
Yes.
100% donk this because they
Yes.
are not folding to my donk bet.
Right.
But
I
when I
think
donk
that
here, with the razor Spazzy Steve as the razor, if he has anything significant, he's going to raise and just pushes their money out. Plus, I also think another thing in that thought process is Bruce is a decent enough player that with the razor being here, if I donk out here, it's going to raise red flags to him. It's going to get his spidey senses starting to tingle.
Yeah,
He knows
it's an unusual play, and I don't think
he
it's
knows
not
that I
conventional,
am
but
fully capable of check raising, 5-7, 4-5, spade draws. He
Yeah.
knows that I'll check raise those. And that's why I
yeah, I
kind of
think
gave
it.
him shit after this hand. I'm like, why'd you jam there? If I'm bluffing, I'm gonna keep bluffing. And he's like, I
So
know.
what do you guys think of this potential for a creative? It doesn't look like what it is. Kind of dunk here. Maybe I'm off base. I kind of like. It might be too creative. I kind of like Peter's argument that it just does not look as nutted as the check raise, which is the conventional play here.
I think the reason
I
I'm
like to
against it is
donk.
because of, oh, go on,
I like to
Brian.
donk when I'm not super deep or multi-way because that is when I want the least amount of folds. But in a situation where you're multi-way and SPR might be deep, but it's gonna get with when it's this many people in the pot still, I think you can check raise and especially after you get a raise and a call, the call looks pretty strong on the button. A lot of hands that aren't gonna fold, so check raise is nice.
Yeah, check
Um,
raise is your conventional play here with the
well,
top of range, and I think it's a good play. I think
it's
against aware players, they're going to understand you're at top of range.
see, I like a donk
I
here
think
because
his
of
argument
speed.
is that it just does not look like what it is. It does not look like top of range.
Oh,
Right.
that's true.
But
And you
Way
know, I
thinking
love the
player.
donk. I love the donk when so like if I'm in a three bet pot and I flop a nutted hand, I want to donk way more than I want to check raise because I don't want to
right.
for whatever reason I don't want to check raise out on three bet pots when I'm going to generate so many more folds in those situations. Like, and it's not super deep. I want to get all the money in. So if I'm like, I have a set and they're weighted towards a lot of top pairs, I'm just going to donk three streets because they're probably just not going to fold their top pairs unless but if I check raise them massively, there's going to be a lot more
Yeah.
folding going on.
I
Yeah.
think that's the argument is that just looks less strong, and so
Right.
people are going to look you up more often.
Right.
I
But I
don't
want to
know if
I
it's
argue it.
love,
true.
Yeah.
I
It's
love
But
when
I
not
want
people
to
real
donk
argue
into
it.
true.
me.
It's not something I'm
Yeah.
using very
Yeah.
often.
I want to
I'm
argue against it in this specific position, in this specific state, because of the relative positions, which is Spazzy Steve is most likely to do one of two things. He's most likely to bet out when you check to him, and he is the person in the hand who is most likely to raise you if you bet. And both of those are bad for you because they make it easiest for player seven and solid reg to play correctly.
When we donk here, we
Whereas,
have Dum Dum and play in the cutoff seat, and when we donk, Dum Dum loves to see turns, but he did fold technically in this situation. But I'm saying that makes a donk not terrible because Spazzy Steve is probably less
Right.
likely to
But
fold that and might just call behind.
right,
the other side of that
but we
is
still get to trap them.
Spazzy Steve is c betting at almost 100%. So their
Right,
money is going to get put in either way, whether I donk or whether I check.
and their
Yeah, but
money's
he's
Um,
not
going
going
to.
to
Oh,
always call your check raise. But if you donk two streets, you can probably get more from him when you donk two streets than when you check raise flop. Just, I mean, I'm not
the
saying that
donk here,
I don't
okay.
know if I love a donk here. I'm just saying that that could be an argument for donking here. Because when you donk here, Spazzy C is just going to call with overs and whatever bullshit. He might just continue to call on donks then versus a check raise that does look very strong into the two players.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hey, quick question. I
And
gotta
then
take off. I'm just
okay.
are you around tomorrow, Scotty?
Yes.
All right, cool.
All right.
Guys, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
See
Thanks
you
for the chat.
tomorrow.
All
Okay,
right.
Game
see you
on,
later.
Larry.
Right.
At least Larry leaves before I show the really, really
Right.
bad hand.
Now, I wanted to ask one other question about this, which is, on the other hand, we saw Spazzy Steve continue on the turn with what we assume to be nothing. He bet the
Yeah.
flop, he bet the turn, he gave up on the river. If we expect and he did it into two players. If we expect Spazzy Steve to continue betting into the turn in this situation, are we ever considering not raising the flop?
Spazzy Steve continues, but for a really tiny size, which doesn't really get us where we want.
Okay, that's why.
Thinking
Because his
my
size is too
thought
small.
process. Yeah, my thought process here was versus the ace-6 hand was I was in position.
Mhm.
So I can go to the turn with less defined ranges
Yeah, yeah.
because I have position. Here I'm out of position, so I kind of want to check raise and start defining ranges right now.
Okay. Sounds good. All right, next hand.
All right. Shit. There we go. This one's bad. This one's really bad. Like really,
Um,
really bad.
I think I'll like it pre-flop though.
We'll see.
We'll see.
No, you don't. Yeah, I
Oh,
can
I
tell you
don't.
right now, Scotty, you don't like it pre-flop.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
I
we
hate
have
ace
our
jack
friend
offsuit.
Spazzy Steve in here again.
Hmm.
And this was actually a hand actually happened before the last two.
Yeah.
This hand is kind of where I started to confirm some of the sizing tells,
Right. Okay.
just as a precursor to what this hand happens.
Right.
So we see limp, limp, limp.
I like it
This
so
is this
far.
is still this is still Bruce. This is
Right.
still Dum Dum.
Right.
They weren't. I didn't name them
Yeah,
because they're
that's
not
fine.
super relevant.
Yep. Okay.
Which I was might have been a little bit of shock going on that Dum Dum folded pre to a
Right.
limp.
Yeah. All right.
But I go ahead and am an
If you limp
absolute
behind, I'm going to be
fucking.
unhappy.
You're unhappy then,
Oh,
Scotty.
I am
Oh
so
my
unhappy.
Andy!
gosh. What
Oh,
are you
boo,
doing?
boo,
Boo, you
boo.
suck. Quit.
Yes,
No.
yes.
Hold on.
This is not as bad as A6, though.
Yeah.
No, it's debatable. Now, in my
I muted Andy just so we can all say boo,
Boo.
boo, boo.
You
Okay, you can come back
stink.
now.
No,
All right, you
I'm
can
just
come
kidding.
back now, Andy.
So, in my defense, I didn't know a whole lot about Spazzy Steve yet. We hadn't been at the table because this happened a little while before the other two hands where I didn't really know. I didn't have the sizing tell on them yet. I didn't know much about them.
Okay.
So, if I had known, like if this hand happened after the other two, I probably would have put in a big raise here. But I was thinking, all right, I'm on the button. Let me just get a little bit tricky.
Okay. Now, before you move on, I'm going to ask you one question.
FPS.
Tell me all the reasons why Ace Jack should not limp behind on the button here. List them.
Should not limp behind on the button.
Yeah. Why should Ace Jack raise or fold here? And by the way, I'm not advocating a fold under any circumstances. But
Right.
tell me all the reasons why
So
Ace
for
Jack
one, it
doesn't want
has
to
all
be a
three of
call.
these ranges dominated.
Okay, good.
We have a player here and I didn't really know. Now I knew nothing about this guy. I think this was like the first hand he sat down,
Easier
and
question. I'm making it an easier question. I'm not asking about I'm asking Ace Jack. Why should Ace Jack do it? Not against these players or anything. Why should Ace Jack not want to limp behind here on the button?
because I have ultimate position,
Yes, he does. He's
because
on the
I
button.
have
He's
a
on the
ton
button.
of
You're on the button.
equity. I have limping ranges absolutely dominated.
Good.
And obviously we know, in 1-3 players rarely limp fold. So start to build a pot now with a hand that absolutely crushes them.
Mm-hmm.
That
Good. Those are good reasons.
okay.
More
Am I
reasons.
missing? Not
You're
let
missing
the
a giant.
blind, not let the big blind in for free and the small
That's a
blind
good
in for
one.
dirt cheap.
Good. Those are two, and one more, and I will give you a hint. Um, List me the kinds of hands that like to play multi-way. Either give me the hands themselves or their characteristics.
Small and medium pair. Well, it's medium pairs, not even small pairs. Medium
Gotcha.
pairs
Sure.
and like Jack 10, 9, 10 suited.
Excellent. Suited connectors. Hands that are generally not the best hand now and can make the nuts and have good visibility, right? Those are all their things.
Yes.
Ace, and what hands don't like to play multi-way? Describe them.
Big aces. Um, big aces, big pairs, um, and small baby pairs.
Offsuit broadways.
And
But small baby pairs don't hate it. They have the problem we saw with, they don't hate it because they are drawing hands. But king queen off, ace jack off, ace 10 off, king jack off. All those hands hate multi-way.
yes.
And in that list, I think I heard me say ace jack off. I meant to say it twice. Okay, now
Yeah.
go on. That's why. Those are the
Okay.
things. Ace jack off just hates to be multi-way, and you just
Now, like, realize as I'm limping, I'm like, this is not too bright. I shouldn't be
yep.
doing this. What the fuck
Good.
am I doing?
All
I
right, good.
call.
All right, here we go. All
Like,
right,
it was
let's play
not
the
like
hand.
a happy, dumb, put my money in the pot limp.
No,
It was, I'm an idiot. Why the hell am
yeah,
I doing this? This
good,
is a bad idea. I call.
good. All right, excellent. All right, let's see what happens.
Sweet baby there.
That's great.
Yep. And check, check. Our dear friend Spazzy Steve.
That's 15.
That's 15. My buddy Bruce folds. I think I'm either way ahead or way behind. And I haven't picked up on his sizing tell yet.
Right, right.
But I think, I mean, ace king, ace queen, you can assume are raising pre. So I don't know. I mean, his range is at this point, he could have an ace and be crushed, or he can be stabbing with pocket pairs here.
Sure.
So I call. I flat here. Check, check.
Now I love it. The only thing I didn't love about the check is just in case somebody else comes in with a flush draw, and I didn't even know if that was. This is great. Okay, the flush comes in. This is terrible. Great. Hand just got easy.
This is the moment. Well, this isn't the moment, but this is the hand I pick up the sizing tell.
Right. He
Jams it.
bets big. He bets big.
2x pot.
Ugh.
And I
Oh,
go in
this
the
is.
tank. And I
Oh,
hate life right now.
yeah.
And I've only seen a couple hands from him. And I know enough, like he's a really bad player. And I convince myself that he is doing this with either like a bad ace X that has a club, or he's just terrified to see another club. And of course, why would he be terrified to see another club?
Because he has deuce three of clubs.
So
Four or
I
five of
call. I
clubs.
I
Yeah.
finally I think I leveled myself into a call here.
Yeah.
Um Again, one of those I should probably just be folding, but
Queen four
four
of clubs.
clubs.
Yeah.
Yep. Which I mean, I think either way, all the money goes in because if I raise pre, he still calls. And then the only difference is he check calls the flop and then the money still goes in on the turn. But ultimately, like I played the hand really, really, really bad.
Yes. But he does call you. But this guy does call your flop raise. And then on the turn you bet, and then on the flop you bet, and he calls, and that's what happens. But the money goes in a different order, in a
Yeah.
better order.
Yeah, the money goes in
Anybody
different, but
fold? All right. So who's raising the flop there, and um who is folding the river?
Who is raising?
The world, not
Raising.
this
Who
time.
is raising the flop? So that's the two separate questions. When you raise the flop, I don't know that you'll be able to fold the river given the sizing.
Can you go back to the flop so we can see what the stack sizes were and stuff?
He's 100 behind
And then
after he
but
bets the flop.
the other guy was still in it, right? Was
Yeah,
I
we
didn't
got
input their
two.
stack sizes because they
We got
weren't
two guys,
relevant.
but we got two guys still in. I think. I think we got two guys to act.
yeah, okay. So that guy was still in it over there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but he did not input their stack sizes because they weren't relevant to the hand.
Yeah, I would raise here.
Um, and I think part of the reason I didn't raise is because it would have been a lot easier if we got one more caller to fold the turn. But I think the reason I didn't raise is because I'm looking at his stack size and how short he is. And he's betting here with a lot of stuff. Like he's not just betting an ace or a flush draw. He's Spazzy Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to give everybody else a good price to call a flush draw. So
Yeah,
I
with two
was
players
really
to come,
happy to
I
see
think
the
I'm.
rest of the folds.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
again, I
When you
think
call, you yeah,
had I been here or had I been first to act, it would have been like if I'd have been in the big blind for say here and somehow and checked the ace jack, I would have played it as a very meaty check raise. It was more, that kind of blinded by the button. And out of position, I would have check raised to 65, maybe 50, 50 to 65, somewhere in that ballpark. Here, if I was going to raise, I probably could have gone to, I think, 45.
right. What everybody else? Because there were a lot of raisers on the flop. What's your raise size? Type it or say it. Brian's 75. Mike is 50 with me. Any other raisers out there? Who else said they were raising?
Yeah, that's
Andy
kind of
said,
Brian. That's what I was thinking. His stack size makes the raise really weird because I either raise small and I don't really get or like and I considered here looking at his stack, I actually considered an all in.
So I'm trying to think. I was like, do you just
Hmm.
jam? But or do you?
Yeah, I don't.
Jam's
I
okay.
think his stack size is irrelevant, no matter what cards you
That's
make
part
it.
of why I would like to go to 75 is because I'm not doing this just to get money from him. I'm doing this to deny equity from flush draws behind me.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're holding
And
So
with
I
the other
know
I
two
like
don't.
guys.
this guy I know literally nothing about. This is a guy who will always see the turn with a flush draw. So a raise is
Charge him.
inconsequential.
So we go
Great. Give him
75
money.
then,
Give us money.
Yes,
or
right.
jam.
I just made more of a case to raise, I know.
Yeah.
Um, but
Okay.
I kind of felt like I don't know. I guess I was thinking, blinded by the button. I was thinking, well, let's see what they do. Let's try and trap them. Um, I have him for the most part crushed.
Yeah,
Well, let's think about it. So, assuming we don't know anything about Spazzy Steve, but we're going to assume here that when he bets, he has a lot of ace X and flush draws here. His flush draws aren't going anywhere, and neither is his ace X. So
and
I
his
only
ace
hit a
X is
jam.
right. And his ace X is worse than our ace X, except for ace
Yeah.
eight. He has
So we
very little
just
ace, king, ace, queen here.
so that makes even more of a case that I don't know if I'd jam, but I would put him all in the bet that I'm making. Maybe
Right.
make it like 100 something to
Yeah.
keep him, put him all in and deny
Right.
equity to the people behind me. And if they call, they're making a bad call.
Right.
Yeah.
He goes
So, I
15.
mean,
You
I
go
prefaced
100.
this with this was
Turn your
just,
hand,
I think,
turning your hand
played
face up.
poorly every step of the way.
Okay.
You do turn your hand like completely face up when you do this,
Yeah.
but you also, I
Beauty
mean,
is,
he
I
doesn't
think
care.
if I
Yeah.
put in the big boy raise here, I don't. I mean, Spazzy Steve might put the rest in for me, which is not terrible.
No.
Yeah. And what happens too when obviously in this situation it didn't work out, but say if you raise here to So you do it to
90.
like, yeah, not even 90. Maybe you just do because he's gonna jam no matter what if you put 90 in. But let's say you do like 50 and you get a call behind, fold, he jams, and you raise it to the size that reopens the action. Now you get to jam them off all their equity and they just put more money in for you.
Yeah.
Would have been the smart way to go.
Okay.
Because I mean, or they call, which sucks,
Right.
and their
Right.
hands completely face up when they just call.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of their ace X should probably be going after it after you raise.
Yeah,
So
I mean, if I go to 50 and one of them calls and he jams,
now
I'm
you,
jamming.
yeah, you're in a
I'm
beautiful
never,
spot.
yeah. That might have been the way to go. Um,
All right. One more question before we move on. As played on the river, uh, anybody folding?
As played, I can see it fold. It's tough. I like to think that I would fold here, but results from the past show that I don't.
Yeah.
So I think it's an easier fold here when the flush comes in. I think my situation was slightly different because it's the back door, but it still doesn't matter. There's just not any bluffs. This makes it also interesting
really,
too, because it's like, does this guy ever overvalue an ace here that he just sticks some money in? So it does make it harder, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
really, I
That's the
think I
problem.
leveled myself into a call in that why would a flush jam 2x pot? Like if he has a made flush and I called on that board, um, why would a flush jam 2x pot? Because I mean, he's not a thinking player. He's never sitting there thinking, okay, he called me on the flop, so he's either got to have an ace or a flush draw.
that makes
So
no sense then, yeah, especially to jam there, obviously.
I don't think he's a smart enough player to put that together. So it's just I have flush, I put money in.
Yeah. I mean, against your exact hand, his best play here is betting something like 40 and you call, and then putting in the rest of it on the river and you call again.
Yeah.
I think either way, all the money goes all in. It
Right.
should go in a different order, and
Right.
I
Because
think
you
that's what
might
leveled
fold
me
here.
into. I think that's what leveled me into calling was
Yeah.
why the
Why
hell
would you
would
do
he
this?
just jam
Have you
with
guys
a
ever
made
been more
flush?
tilted by the way someone played, even though you lost less money because they played it that way?
Have I what?
Have you
Yes.
ever been
I,
extremely tilted after a hand, even though you lost the minimum, but you're angry of how bad they played their hand?
Yeah.
yes, but I let go of it by reminding myself by telling that story, going, I felt it, and then I just went, I'm happy. I'm
It
happy. No,
happened to
I'm
me the other
not.
day. I was
You're
like, I should be
happy.
really happy right now, but
I'm
I'm pretty
happy.
pissed off that
Yeah.
this just happened.
Pocket
Yeah.
threes hand. When I said to Bruce, I'm like, why the hell did you raise there?
Mm.
I'm
Like,
like,
yeah, I
you
lost
know, I'm
less
gonna
money, but
Yeah.
I'm so
right,
angry.
Right.
right. I'm
Okay.
like, even said to him, I said, you know, I'm gonna fire the turn or the
Right.
river. Like, why would you jam there?
Right.
You gave me an
So,
out.
right.
But
S-
here, I think I really leveled myself into calling by saying, why the hell would you jam for 2x pot with a
Right.
flush?
Right. So, with that in mind, is there anybody here who is folding to this 2x jam?
I probably would have
I,
called.
I think I'm calling. I think I am. But I would fold a lesser ace.
Oh
I
yeah.
would fold, I would
Yep.
fold the ace five of hearts that I could get here with.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I think I have to call this ace jack. Okay.
I'm snap folding my ace eight and my ace nine, that's for sure.
Folding or
I've
pocket eights
folded
or
the nut.
pocket nines,
I've
which
folded the nuts
I never get
before.
here with eights or nines because I mean I'm raising
Yep.
those pre. I may
But you
get
never
here with
should, but you never
nines
get
or
here with ace
eights.
jack offsuit either. Ace jack offsuit isn't in your range here either. All right. Next hand.
If you could see, I'm flipping you off right now, Scotty.
I assume so. I assume so.
That's all the live hands. I do have
Okay.
some online hands. If you'd
Oh,
like
that's
to take
nice.
a peek.
Let's
Uh,
do let's pick that up. We'll pick that up tomorrow because it's 2:15 now.
Gonna say I gotta run, so
Yeah. So
okay.
yeah, there's a good amount of time. Uh, thank you everybody. Thank you, Andy. And just so you know, I have marked some hands that I have played so badly, where when you say, "Why did you bet your nines here?" I will give you no answer other than Andy told me.
Oh,
They were so I played so bad. I would like to say worse than some of what we just saw Andy play. Very
Let me at least scan through these so we can
He
end on
just
a
gets.
hand I feel I
Andy,
played
do you
okay.
well.
ever
Okay.
just
All right. We'll do
consider
one more
not
hand.
coming anymore because you're just getting ripped apart?
No, that's how you learn.
No.
That's how you learn. All right. Yeah.
No, we're not going to see.
Grab a hand that ends. Grab a hand not that ends well, but that plays well.
I think this was one.
All right. Ace 10
We're going to
offsuit.
see.
Merda.
All right. Here we go. Let's see it.
So put in the squeeze.
Yeah.
Not the bad. Shit. We're already not starting great. Not a terrible
No.
squeeze,
But
No,
but
but
it's all
here's the
right.
thing.
It's loose, but I'm
It's
glad you didn't
loose, but
snap.
it's the right motion there. When that second guy
both.
comes in, we now squeeze. We want to squeeze a little larger. Ace 10 is a little is too low for a 3-bet, but you expanded it. Let's take a look. What is this guy's stats? What's his PFR? The first guy.
His PFR is a 6. He's a 27-16 with
27-16.
he folds to 3-bets a little more often than he should.
What's his fold to 3-bet?
Um,
Is that the 52?
yep.
Okay. All right.
And this guy is a 0-3-bet
Yeah.
in
This guy's irrelevant. He's the guy.
436 hands.
Yeah.
But look to my left, right? And this was
Yeah.
kind of one of my deciding factors.
hmm
He's 3-betting at 20%, 19%. Granted, you don't have a ton of hands on him,
Right.
but given that in 5 opportunities he's 3-bet, or in 27 opportunities he's 3-bet 5 times,
Right.
I feel he's going to
So
be a
that
little
makes
bit
your
of
call. So I think your call would be. So it makes your call a terrible idea.
Oh, yeah, call. I didn't even think you were considering calling Andy.
No,
So
this is a folder raise. Folder
yeah.
raise.
I
Definitely.
was never. These are now we're online, so I'm
Yeah.
trying to. Obviously things change a little online.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it goes
Okay.
fold, call, fold. We get the flop.
Hey, this is nice.
Isn't it? So
I like the
small.
C-bet. I like the size.
I
You can go.
small, little
Yeah.
B33. Let's
Sure.
let's see where we're at. Let's as the pre-flop 3-better, I'm pretty much betting range against this guy. And he calls.
Right.
Okay.
He didn't check raise us. This is great. So
Yep,
what does he
didn't
got?
check raise us. And his
What's he
check
got?
raise free. What's his range look like? I'm
Yeah.
thinking, he can still have, at this point, he could still have queens, jacks, but mostly like 6s, 7s, 9s, maybe a jack 10, a 9-10, which would be beautiful, right?
Right. Yep. And of course, clubs.
Yes, and of course, club draws.
Club draws.
And
Not a lot of
I
straight
unblock.
draws.
I guess he could have like queen jack of clubs, something like that, with a
Yeah,
combo
okay.
draw. Although
Okay, queen jack. Yeah, queen jack, but not a lot of 9-jack. Not nothing open
jack
ended.
9,
Yeah,
I could
jack
see
9
like
probably
some
folds.
queen jack of clubs combo draws. Nothing.
Queen jack of
His
diamonds
check
and any
raise
queen jack can
frequency is
call.
very
Yeah.
low,
Yeah.
so he's not check raising those, but he's definitely
Yep.
calling them off.
Yep. Great.
Beautiful turn
Beautiful.
card.
Jack 10 is going to get all the money in against us.
Yeah, they are. Or 9-10, or
Yeah, this is great.
although I don't think he calls with 9-10. I don't even know. So he checks. So I elect, and this maybe this was more of an SPR thing. Actually, not. I don't think. I know it was. I stuck with B33 because I go here. I can bet small again. Obviously that's kind of a scary turn card. If he has a 10, it's the money's going in either way.
Right.
And even if he doesn't and he calls, that puts us at what, 47 plus 30 is 77. So I'm still at what, a 0.8 SPR with a call.
Yeah. So
Um,
2E would be a little bit bigger, and 2E makes sense here.
yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna argue, but my argument is just tiny bigger, is like 20.
Yeah.
It's a little bit bigger, but this is fine.
Yeah, I can see going slightly bigger to make my
Yeah.
jam on the river a little bit smaller.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I said, I feel like, and also I could have gone bigger for the simple fact if he is on a draw and it bricks, I've
This is
got
where the money
he's
comes.
not
Yeah.
calling any bet, so I might as well
Yeah.
get some more money in now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he calls.
Calls. Great. Let's just not see a club. I don't
Actually,
care
I
about that
think that
queen.
may be a good card because now if he's got king, queen of clubs, ace, queen of clubs,
Yeah,
queen, jack of clubs, he he got a pair, and it's I don't have a huge, I don't have a ton behind where like
right.
I mean my jam is less than pot.
Yeah. Jam, great.
And he snap calls this.
All right. And let's just hope it's not queen 10.
Right. Who wants to guess? What is his range analysis here?
Queen 10.
Mm. Well,
Oh, even better than that, Scotty.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you
Let's see
could
what I
bluff
get.
catch with a hand like jacks with a club. You could, I
He
mean,
can
he
call you
doesn't
with,
need a,
and
he
he can
doesn't
call
even
you
need
with
a
Jack
club.
Queen. He can call you with Jack Queen. Easy.
You,
Here.
you guys ready for this?
Yeah. Pocket. Deuce. A
Nothings.
deuce.
Oh,
A
Yeah,
deuce.
wow.
Deuce four.
Oh,
I
I
put you on ace game.
Yes.
okay. I was wrong when he says he doesn't have 9 Jack. So let me just
Yes.
say I was wrong. He also has
Yes.
Jack 9 in range.
Which and this is the part that tripped me out about it. I
Yeah.
mean, he's his fold to three bet is 52%. Like, what the hell is he raising that he's folding to a three bet if he's getting here with deuce
With
four?
this, I know. And he's only opening 16% of hands.
Early position, I mean, granted, it's a very
Huh.
small sample there, but EP and MP and even cutoff, he's almost always folding to a three bet.
I think I now love your turn size.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, he
I
read into your
hated it in the
Brazilian.
moment.
Yeah,
He's like, I know this Brazilian play.
exactly.
I see Scotty's videos.
Right. No one sees Scotty's videos. Awesome. Nice. I like it. Yeah. And I love that you shaped it to get all in on the river. And I love that he called. All
With
right.
the deuce four.
Wonderful. It's suited. It's a gapper. It's a pair. You
Right.
your bet was
And
polarized in size, and so what could you possibly have? You can't have a 10. There's another 10 on the board. I unblock clubs, so you must have clubs. This was easy. Poker's an
Yeah,
easy
he's
game.
unblocking all of the bluffs.
All of the bluffs,
I
also
mean,
all of the value. He's unblocking all of the hands.
yeah. And also losing at minus 47 big blinds per 100.
That makes sense. All right, I'll see you guys.
later.
All right. See,
Bye. See you tomorrow.
have a good day.
You too.